Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to a new season of the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge, and Season 4 this already is. With me in the commentary booth and on production this evening is Biggles. Once again, he's with me like you know from last season. Still, our main sponsor is Apex Tracks, where you can get your motorsport and motoring racing circuit wall art, just genuine track sculptures. Difficult words those for a Dutchie like me, but yeah, you can get those on apextracks.com. Then our other partners, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, 603 Autosport, 3D Wrap, Track Racer, Digital Motorsports, Esports Sim, and the JPB box. So, like I said, Biggles with me in the commentary, and I think it's time for Biggles to jump in as well. Biggles, welcome.
Yes, hello. Welcome back, of course, for a brand new season. This time around, of course, we go to the classic track of Imola. And once again, we're going to have a few less of the tracks this for the calendar, of course. We'll go over that in a minute, but we'll go over first what we're going to be here today for our feature racing event. Once we underway, they're under practice at the moment, which will be finished up roughly about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll get ready for our first qualifying session of the year. Well, the season, actually.
Yeah, well.
It was
The season, yeah, we've had we've had quite a couple this season, Biggles. But the first thing I want to do for you guys here with us this evening is go over the results from last season. And I think it's only good to begin with Category 1, the highest category.
The feature here. Okay.
Is
Live.
this better? Is
We
this any
live.
better?
Yep. Sounds better. Yeah, sorry, we're just trying to sort out Dan's microphone. We want to make sure we can hear him clearly, of course.
I hope they can. I hope they can now.
Yeah, that sounds a lot better there, Dan. So no problems. Thank you for sorting that out. Let's go. Well, down to what you were talking about with the previous race results, previous round results from. Not that one. Now I'm really all confused. Last season. Go, Dan. This should be coming up now for the audio.
Have they? Have they heard what I said in the beginning?
No. Can you please repeat that?
No. Yes, I can. Well, guys, welcome back again to the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge. Season 4 already, and as you've heard with me in the commentary booth and on production this evening is Dean Biggles. Our main sponsor, of course, still Apex Tracks, where you can get your sculptures and your circuit wall art that you can hang on your wall, which is nicely... I have actually a circuit bought from the Apex Tracks. I have the Nürburgring, and the Nürburgring Nordschleife, so the combined track. It's an amazing track, and yeah, it's
Nice.
amazing to have it on our wall. It's a nice decoration. So if you want to get that, go over to Apex Tracks website. Then our other partners, just like last season, is still 603 Autosports, 3D Wrap, Track Racer, Digital Motorsports, Esports Sim, and the GP box. So that are all our sponsors there for this season. Biggles,
Yeah.
I think we're going to be in for another cracking season. Of course, we have a lot of new things to go over for you this evening. So yeah, I think for us it's time to begin with what you can see on your screen right now, the championship standings from last season, and remind you who was champion in every class last season. Alex Everitt was champion, of course, in Category 1, because we know that. He was really, really quick. Just at some point walked away with that title. I think he wrapped it up one evening before the end of the season. Artem Makarov in P2, Nina Vladislavljevic, I missed it. I mispronouncing that name for a long time on broadcast. In P3, P4 for Vlad Tartara, and 5th is Ian Deeney. Because I think a really competitive season in Category 1.
Oh, Wills, and we're going to see if it's going to be, once again, that same situation. There's the Category 2, of course, that Craig Deacon managed to wrap up.
3.
Sorry, sir?
This is Category 3, Biggles.
That is Category 3. You are correct. My apologies. Anyway, go through Category 3. Yes, you're right. That's now Category 2. There you go.
There we go. Remo Schneider. We're all a bit rusty. Excuse us for we're all a bit rusty at the beginning of the season. Biggles as well. Remo Schneider won in Category 2. A quite convincing victory in the end ahead of Norbert Juhasz. But Norbert Juhasz only 10 points ahead of Alex Ward in 3rd, Fabio Gil in 4th, and Ricardo Pessoa Santos quite a way back in 5th. He only pipped Jürgen M. Peterson by 2 points in the end. So yeah, quite close there in terms of the top, in terms of places 5 and 6, and for the 2nd and 3rd place as well. So I think from what I've heard from Alex Everitt, that is, of course, the founder of the league, he's not going to do 3 classes again. He's still thinking about it. So don't take anything for granted here what I'm saying, but he's still thinking about it. But he said he might only just do 2 categories this season. At the moment as well, I can announce that we have 24 people signed up, and I think there's still place, Biggles. So if you want to sign up as well, of course you can do that. And I think there's a beautiful link to the Crest Autosport website in the description, isn't there, Biggles?
Yes, I believe there is for sure. Let me double check that one. Absolutely, there is. Yep, the link to the Discord as well, and all of our wonderful sponsors. You've got the links to. Now, this is the results, of course, for the Category 3 there that we went now. You have to go over there. From Craig Deacon had won.
Craig Deacon, of course, won in Category 3. That was one that went down to the wire at the last race at Brands Hatch, I think. Because Stephen de Gravelier, we know that he did not have a great evening there in the last race. Craig Deacon picked him for the title there at that round. Gabriel Lopez in 3rd. Carl Schmidt in 4th. Only 9 points ahead of Anastasios Georgiadis. Those names, Biggles, I have to say, I missed pronouncing them, and I missed how wrongly you pronounced them as well.
Yeah, you missed it. Obviously, Ninad's surname that I used to pronounce. We won't unfortunately be having him in racing this season for now.
Yeah, just to explain for the people who are here for Ninad, of course. Ninad, of course, has a disability where he can't drive normally. He has his own custom-made things that he can race with. He's still very quick, but he doesn't have enough options to make a pit stop strategy or select a pit stop. So he can't race in the races where we have a pit stop to do, and that is what we get over to in a second. But first, we have the team's standings as well. Honda Privateer, in the end, Biggles, quite a convincing victory there. 2,070 points over Crest Autosport with Apex Tracks, who had 1,916 points. But closer to that is the Ukrainian club, Kmak Sim Racing 2. Quite long names here, Biggles, I have to say, but they were very much closer to Crest Autosport with Apex Tracks. Next Gen Racing Blue in 4th, and Audi Privateer only 51 points behind that in 5th. In the manufacturer standings, though, Link & Co, of course, overall won that, and I think the Ukrainian club, Kmak Racing, Sim Racing 2, a big part in that. Cooper Racing as well in 2nd, only 100 points or 98 points behind Link & Co. Hyundai in 3rd, Alfa Romeo 4th, Audi 5th, and Honda in the end on 1 point, last of the field. But I think if you look at the points there, Biggles, the cars were quite well divided.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were. Well, we got more cars this season, just to show everybody how many we were adding in here. Quite a few more. Have a look at that.
Yeah, quite a lot of new cars in this season. Of course, we had the Alfa Romeo Giulietta last season, the Audi RS3 LMS, Cupra Leon Competizione we had last season, Honda Civic as well, a Hyundai i30N. We had the Hyundai Elantra. So the Hyundai i30N, a new addition to this season. The Lada Vesta, of course, new as well. The Lincoln Co 03 we had last season. The Opel Astra we didn't have last season. The Peugeot 308 we didn't have last season. The Renault Megane also new for this season. and the Volkswagen Golf GTI also new for this season, Biggles.
Absolutely, and this is our session that we're going to be having today for our feature race session here at Imola, and that you can see at the moment qualifying that'll be starting very soon. There will be a 15-minute session, and that'll set the grid for race 2. Race 1, of course, is that reverse top from 10 from qualifying. There it is. We'll get that one out. We are a bit rusty, but just we'll get through it.
Got it out eventually. Well, then I think, Biggles, for us, it's time to go to the calendar of this season and go into a little bit deeper into how it's all going to be run. Of course, we know that the 27th of October, as of today, we are at Imola, as you saw in the beginning. We go to Nogaro in France for round 2 on the 3rd of November. The 10th of November, for round 3, we head to my home country, Assen, to the TT Assen circuit for the 3rd round. The 4th round of the 1st of December, so we have a little bit of I think it's a 3-week break in between that because Alex is away. We head to Spa-Francorchamps, so the teams have a little bit of time to rest up between those 2 races. Then for round 5, the 8th of December, we move to Suzuka in Japan, and then we move to that all-special last race at the Lausitz Ring, which is, I think, the Apex Tracks Grand Prix. But yeah, it's once again going to be an amazing season. We have 2 different schedules for the racings for racing this year or this new season.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 1 sprint race and 1 feature race. That's what has been added to this season, Biggles. And we have the 3 sprint races like we know it from last season. If we go over the 1 sprint race, 1 feature race, as you can see on your screen right now, we move into a practice, which is 60-minute long. That's actually the same as it is in the 3 sprint races. Then we move into a 15-minute qualifying. Then we go to a 10-minute practice in a new server. Then we move to race 1, which is, I think, based on the qualifying results. This is, I think, the sprint the 3 sprint races that you have on screen right now, Biggles.
The what, sorry? This is a sprint series. Yep. We meant the feature one, but the one we're doing tonight.
Yes, this is the one we're doing tonight. So we're going to race 1 with a reverse top 10 from qualifying. Then we move into a new session when that is done. Of course, a 15-minute race. In race 2, that's a 15-minute race with a mandatory pit stop required, a minimum of 2 tires, and fuel is compulsory. So, a new addition, I would say. And I'm quite excited to see how that is going to pan out this evening here at Imola. But that is new. Of course, in race 1, our first top 10, like I said, and the race 2, it's just based on the qualifying results. The ballast is the same as well in qualifying as we move into qualifying in just over 16 seconds time now. There is no ballast. In race 1, the qualifying top 8 gets 40% kilogram down in 5 kilogram increments. So, of course, it will go down by 5 kilogram for each driver. And in race 2, that's exactly the same. Of course, the other thing that we know, or the other schedule that we know in an evening, is the 3 sprint races, where we know that we go into a 60-minute practice session and qualifying of 15 minutes, then a race 1 of 15 minutes with a qualifying result where that race will start from as we move into qualifying now. Then we move into race 2, also 15 minutes with a reverse top 10 from the race 1 results. And then we move into race 3, which will be 20 minutes long with a reverse top 10 from race 2. So that's the schedule like we know it from last season. The ballast, though, will also be the same. The qualifying in the championship, top 8, will get 40 kilograms down in 5 increments. Then race 1, the top 8 and down in 5 increments. And that's basically the same for race 2, only it will be done on the qualifying results. So race 1, the championship, drivers who are top in championship will get 30 kilograms and and that will go down in 5 increments. And in qualifying, that will mean that then in race 2 and 3, that comes in. So Biggles, I think a lot to get used to in this new season. We move now into qualifying. What are we expecting?
Don't, I'm not quite sure. Maybe Alex to continue pick up what he did well last season. And we don't know what people have been doing, obviously, in the off-season and practicing, and obviously some of the different cars, too, that they're going to be driving as well, that they're going to be electing to use. So, yes, Lots of questions, lots of maybes and ifs, but we'll definitely find out after that qualifying session resumes in about 14 minutes when it wraps up. And then race day.
I've asked Alex, and Alex actually said that he is definitely going for that title once again this season, which I think
just to elaborate, your microphone's just dropped a little bit there and the level, even though I'm right next to you in the virtual booth, my friend, but just drop back. Just drop back a little bit. Couldn't barely hear you there for a second. Quite sure.
I could talk with James.
Sorry? Yeah. I might just want to see if you can check back and go back to your other backup microphone or something, mate, so we can sort that problem out. So we need to hear your fantastic voice. That's obviously I am.
Here I am.
Yeah, here you go. That sounds a lot better, mate. Yeah. Go ahead. What you was just saying before.
You should hear me properly now. Well, the thing is, Biggles, that of course I've talked to Alex, and Alex said that he's definitely gonna go to prolongate that championship this season. And he actually told me that Ninad overall, the man that isn't here with us this evening, and probably won't be here with us this season, was actually quicker on one lap than him. Why is that, you might ask? Because, well, it was just overall quicker. But the thing that Alex said where he had the edge was coming through the field. He was just better than Ninad doing that, he said. So that is where he, I think, ultimately won that championship. I hope, Biggles, by the way, that my sound is now all in check. Sorry for the microphone, guys. Of course, we are looking to solve this problem.
Yeah, it should be good. Please let us know in the chat. Sounds okay to me. Through my headphones, Dan. Once again, that Dutch voice. Yeah, you owe me a, what's it called? A bitterballen? What is it? That Dutch snack called again? I should know.
Do you want to know the proper Dutch name, or do you want it in an English for?
No, give us the Dutch one.
Bitterballen.
Bitterballen. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to sound angry when you say it.
Okay.
Yeah. You get angry when you put them in your mouth and they're really hot.
Oh, okay. I thought you get angry when they've sold out, kind of thing. That you get even more angry. Anyway.
Well, you know frikandellen. Do you know them?
No, I don't think so.
It's actually the most eaten snack here in the Netherlands.
Oh.
So yeah, bitterballen is a close second, though, I have to say. But I personally like bitterballen over frikandellen. So just so you know.
All right, I'm gonna have to try them next time I'm in the Netherlands. Well, of course, when we do go to the Netherlands, as per the calendar here at Crest Autosport, as you said. Alex, now we're having a look at. Now, you want to give us an onboard guide around Imola, mate? I know you've driven this track a few times, and you've ridden shotgun with Alex a few times.
I have driven this track quite a couple of times, and I can tell you it's quite a cool track. I don't know if I can go on board with someone else who's starting the lap.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure who's starting the lap at the moment because we don't have a track map, unfortunately, that doesn't work when it comes up. Some tracks it does, some tracks it doesn't.
Well, I think we'll just stay with Alex
and
see what he can do, and then
yeah.
Start once he gets across the finish line.
Oh,
of course,
now he's going to pull up.
have...
Oh, no, it's Fabio. Hang on, my apologies. Hit the wrong key there. It's Alex now.
Well, we know... Oh, no, I forgot what to say now. I got it back again. 10 minutes of qualifying still left, so quite a lot to go still for the drivers. At the moment, though, Fraser Roston's in first with a 1 minute 53.444, and I think he's in the Cupra Leon as well. If I look at the logo on the left-hand side of your screen, he's in the Cupra.
Yes. It looks like it. We're going to get used to some of these new ones. New cars. It's a Supra.
I don't actually know, because this might be bad, the difference between the Hyundai Elantra and the Hyundai i30N.
Well, Fraser right here is... Yeah, Cupra. You're right. It's a Cupra. My apologies. We'll go back to...
Maybe go on board with him. He's probably starting a new lap.
Okay.
Well then, we're going to start your lap around the Imola circuit. We go around the Variante Bassa, the corner that comes immediately after the start-finish line. Here it is, the Variante Bassa. Then we move into the Variante Tamburella, of course, the well-known corner where a once very, very well-known driver died in the names of Ayrton Senna. I think there's still a monument behind this corner. Fraser Ross is probably not on a quick lap, but we'll still go with it. Through the Variante Alta we go. Then now into the Variante Villeneuve. So quite a couple of well-known names here that corners are named after in Imola. And of course, a lot of legends have raced on this track. Now we move into Tosa. A really tight hairpin, turn 7. We drop down into, I think, second gear here, and we accelerate out. Very easy to just understeer wide on the exit there. And now we move up through Tosa into Piratella. Quite a tricky one because it is quite a high-speed corner, but it's also off camber. So it can catch you out here if you're not aware of it. Then we move now into my favorite corner, Acqua Minerali. The first right-hander and the second right-hander uphill. You get a lot of understeer on the exit, but then it picks up here once again. We move on now to the Variante Alta. Quite a difficult chicane. We move over to the right. Fraser Rostons doesn't complete his lap there. Can we go quickly to Alex Everitt? I don't know if he is still on a quick lap. Maybe go Alex Everitt exactly on the same piece of track as we were just a second ago into the Variante Alta. Catch the first second of that curb, catch the second part of that curb, go all over it. Then on the exit, don't go too wide because it can give you enough track and then your lap won't count anymore. We now go down the hill into Rivazza, and it's a too complex corner, Rivazza. We move into the first left-hander. We drop down into second gear, and we keep it in second gear between those two corners. Now the second left-hander. We go through there as well, and then we move on to the start-finish straight once again to complete the lap around the famous Enzo Edino Ferrari Imola.
Yeah, Ferrari, of course, but now Ferraris on the grid. Just Hyundais and Audis, and as you would mention there before, Linkros. And let's see who else is there. So Ian and Ross, and then Remo Schneider, of course, there for the Swiss driver. We got Stevie, who said hello in the chat there. Stevie said, yep, let's get the season going. So the Belgium driver is really excited. Of course, a lot of these cars are sporting the same team names. So Crest Autosports with the 603 Autosport. They're all your blue cars. Just having a look through some of the other liveries that we're going to see more and more of these drivers this season. We're still down to, what, 6 minutes left of our qualifying session now?
About that, yeah. I think, Biggles, once we get to the end of this session, we're going to look at it and I think be well, annoyed that it's already over, because I personally, Biggles, always like it when we're in qualifying. The drivers are on the edge. They're pushing as much as they can, and I think they're pushing as hard as they can for the whole weekend, because if you crash in qualifying, yes, you start from the back, but you can also just reset in the sim.
Exactly. Well, you can reset these qualifying laps too, isn't it? As they just magically make the cars appear and reappear and back in the pit lane. Can't do that during the race, of course.
Of course you can't.
Here's Pedro Santos.
I can. Well, you can, Biggles, but you will be back in the pit lane without points because you won't be able to finish the race.
Yeah. But what's going to be fun this season long, of course, and unfortunately not to Nenad, but to I guess for us for spectating, is the fact that they have to do this pit stop. We didn't see them do any pit stops last season, unless they had to. But it is a requirement now.
I think last season you didn't want to do a pit stop basically because it always ruined your race with only 15-minute races.
You're right, and here is the Colombian driver of Gabriel Lopez. Lopez, yep. And that's closest to me geography-wise. Just across the border south of Panama, as my fellow Colombians friends.
So you're a fan of him now?
Absolutely. He's the closest to me on location, so he has to get the fan club from me, and I've been to a couple of places in Colombia. It's a beautiful country. It's a lot cheaper too to live than Panama is these days. Anyway. Oh, cost of living everywhere around the world is skyrocketed, hasn't it? And we've got plenty of Portuguese, of course, and we actually have Mr. Is that Rodrigo Portugal? Is that his surname? Portugal is your surname? From Portugal?
Rodrigo Portugal?
Yeah.
Could be. Could be. If I look here, yeah, it's Rodrigo Portugal.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Rodrigo Portugal from Portugal.
Yeah, you'd want to be from Portugal, wouldn't you, if that's surname? Otherwise,
Yeah.
people would end up asking you all the time, are you from Portugal? You'd be like, no, actually, no, I wasn't born in Portugal. I was born in Spain
And
or
now you
something.
can just say yes.
Yeah. So
Back as well is my closest man geography-wise
Right.
is... Oh, well, it could be Paul Hans in the Opel, of course. That Dutch brand. Of course, he wants to drive the Opel here. But Steven de Gravelaar as well, back with his season. He, of course, missed out last season in the last race because he didn't have time to practice.
Oh, that's right. I tell you what, where's this flag from?
Morocco.
Is it? All right.
Yes. You don't recognize this one?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm pretty good about flags, but that's actually pretty cool. I mean, probably the first Moroccan driver I've ever custed.
Do you know where Gabriel Lopez is from?
Gabriel Lopez is from Colombia.
Good.
Yeah. I just
And
spoke
Remo
about
Schneider,
that.
you know him?
Remo Schneider is from, Switzerland.
Okay, good. I was just checking that.
Now, I know all the flags, apart from this one. This is the only one that caught me off guard there. I didn't know the Moroccan flag.
Well, you can just notice it by the green star in the middle.
All right, well, you're obviously pretty good on your geography.
Well, no, not geography-wise, but just with flags.
Nationality flags, yep.
I have the same as Max Verstappen. I had a map above my bed when I was young with all the flags on it.
Oh, did Max Verstappen have that as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, I think it was on the sofa, an episode from Red Bull that they did with Danny Ricciardo, and he said that he had a map above his bed with all the countries on it and their flags. So that's how I got to know it, and that's why I'm pretty good with flags and countries' names. But if you ask me where they are in the world, I couldn't possibly tell you.
I'd be good at that one. Actually, we're just the other day. So we're just waiting for the last couple of minutes of qualifying. So Alex says, well, I'll tell you what, Lee Horn. That's a relatively new name. I don't remember Lee Horn on the grid last season. Did you hear for them?
No, but Alex told me before that he is one he's going to have to look out for in the championship this season, because Lee Horn could be the same as Nenad Vladisavljevic. Of course, he doesn't, from what I know as far, doesn't have any disabilities in terms of the way he can drive. But yeah, at the moment, Lee Horn back into the pit lane. But yeah, he's really, really quick just in general as well.
And here's the driver, Paul Hans. I think Paul Hans is back again for this season for the 608. I can't read the numbers on the side of the cars here. Not as important, obviously.
I'm quite disappointed here, Biggles.
808 it is. What?
Well, we have so many different cars here, and still the drivers stick to what they had last season. The only one that has changed, I think, is Paul Hans, who is in a car that is new from this season, which is the Opel. And then we have, of course, the new Hyundai, but that's the only thing that I think has changed. The rest is still in the Lynk & Co or Cupra. Lynk & Co is really, or a lot of people are in that. As this is
qualifying results.
Qualifying.
Yep.
Lee Horn then will start on pole position. Alex Everitt in second, Fraser Ross's third, Fabio Gil fourth, fifth, Remo Schneider, Russ Butcher in sixth, Ian Deeney seventh, Jurgen Madsby Peterson in eighth, Geoff Burkes in ninth, Pedro Santos in 10th, Stephen de Gravelaar 11th, Paul Hans 12th, Neil Craven 8th in 13th, Nigel Stock 14th, 15th, Alex Ward, 16th, Ricardo Pessoa Santos, 17th, Robert Stoughton, 18th, Rodrigo Portugal, Carl Schmidt in 19th, 20th, Roy Plammer, I hope I pronounced that correctly. 21st, we have Younes Karbit, and then in 22nd and last on the grid, Gabriel Lopez. Well, guys, we now have to change sessions.
That's a
but
bit
I
big.
think that's a bit big.
Yeah, I just have to take a screenshot of it, obviously, because we can't keep it up there. So there it is. So I've got the screenshot for us so we can still see that. Definitely will be changing the session.
Look at that. Alex Everitt got close in the end. 23 thousandths of a second. I think we missed that one, actually, Biggles, but 23 thousandths of a second behind Lee Horn.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all, you'd have to say. Absolutely. And
Well,
it's
that's
going to be on
really,
a
really
great position, obviously, for the race. And, of course, there it is. So that qualifying that is over now sets the grid for race 2, but not for race 1, because it's a reverse top 10 from qualifying.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be really exciting here, Biggles. A reverse top 10. It's We know that a reverse top 10 has always proven to be a really, really good. How do you say it? A really good. Um, you make it way more exciting with a reverse top 10 because the drivers have to come through from the back a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do. We sent that a lot last season, didn't we? A couple of last to first challenges.
We do. But well,
I think it was Alex that did one.
I do want to point. I do want to point on something, and I'm really happy to announce that we've surpassed or that we've got towards 200 subscribers on the JP Broadcasting channel, which is absolutely amazing, Biggles. 200 subscribers already for a channel that is what, 6.5 weeks old?
That is fantastic. Absolutely. I just got some weird blue screen of death kind of thing on the game, but it seems to be okay as they're loading in for the race now. I think the race is already underway, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's just to check it, just getting ready and some warm-ups.
Yes.
And overall, yes. Would you like to mention, obviously, the fantastic sim racing community? That's one of our sponsors that you can see there in the map in the background currently at the moment.
If I'm correct, Biggles, Sim Racing Community is a platform where you have all the needs. Sim Racing Community has been designed to bring sim racing or the sim racing world onto one platform. So you can see all coverages of sim race and the latest news, of course, on one platform where you can just load it up, see what's up at the moment in terms of sim racing and all the major sim racing titles. You can follow the socials, communities. It allows you to meet new people as well. It's just on everything that you need to know about sim racing on one platform, Biggles, which makes it all the lot easier for you to get into it. Isn't that right, Biggles? Have we lost Biggles? Oh no. I hope we haven't lost Biggles.
Well, you got it all correct. I think we're going to get ready to get some racing done that everybody has been waiting for. Very soon, no doubt.
I think we have a 10-minute practice before.
Yeah, just checking that, sorting that one out at the moment. There will be a practice session and all that gizmos. We'll go down live, I believe, just to check out those pictures and see what's going on. So keep you entertained. So sitting in the pit lane garages. All of your favourite livery you mentioned.
Well, it's definitely a good one. It's a standard for Lincoln Go cars. I didn't know that Lincoln Go produced road cars until like a little while ago, and now I see them all over the road. Don't you have that, Biggles? When you see one car, you see them everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. It was like the old Volkswagen Beetles and stuff like that, isn't it? They've been around everywhere. So that's a common car you find.
I think, Biggles, it's good for us to now quickly go to an intermission screen and be right back.
Yes, we shall do that. So please do not go anywhere.
The GP Box is an online marketplace for motorsports merchandise and memorabilia. Browse for a whole range of motorsports products in all forms of motorsport. Take Formula 1 for example. There is a whole section dedicated to Formula 1 products from your favourite drivers, cars, teams or tracks from all eras of Formula 1. There are more series available, including WRC if you are a rally fan. You can even search for your favourite form of motorsport to see what products they have in your favourite forms of motorsport. Or, if yourself are a retailer in motorsport, you could set up your own shop within the GP Box to open up your products to a much bigger motorsport audience. Find out more at thegpbox.com.
Well, we're back. I believe we are, and now we're going to get a little bit of a practice session before we get our first race underway. I am the Dean Biggles, and with me again too is the Dan. So, the double D's per our casting duo. There you go, Dan. And how are you doing, my friend?
I am doing absolutely amazing, Biggles. We've just seen one of the best qualifying sessions, I think, that we've ever seen. In terms of how close it was. For everyone, not just only the top one, but everyone. Of course, you know that the top two was just a little bit ahead of everyone else. But apart from that, how many people were within 2 tenths? There you go. Look at how many people were within that 1 second. 10 people were within that 1 second. And I think down towards, if I quickly take a look, down to P17 within 2 seconds. So really, really close there, Biggles. And now we're into a 10-minute practice session before a 15-minute race.
Yeah, and reverse top 10. Is that correct?
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so that means that Lee and Alex are obviously going to be, what are you looking at, P9 and P10 to start?
I think Lee Horn will start P10. Alex Everitt P9.
Yes, that's correct.
Victor Roston's P8. Fabio Gil P7. Remo Schneider P6. Ross Butcher P5. Ian Deeney P4. Jurgen Matthew Peterson P3. Geoff Perkins in second. And our man Pedro Santos in P1.
So ideally, I think you want to be maybe around where Remo Schneider or Ross is.
I think
that's good for both. But both.
I think at the end of the day, Biggles, Lee Horn and Alex Everitt are going to come through the field quite rapidly, and especially Alex Everitt. He's shown it last season, coming from even further back, within 15 minutes, and he's just really, really quick. And I think just looking towards the fact that he is, of course, a champion from last season, I expect him to do a championship drive here as well in race 1, and show why he was champion last season. I think a champion always has to show himself, especially in the first round.
They do, and for the feature races, well, you're going to actually get 2 points for the qualifying on top of it, so that's going to give you some extra points that may very well help. You get 60 points for winning the feature race too in P1. So not bad to have that, and you'll get points all the way down. Everybody gets a point, I think, until you go into 30th place or below. At this point, everybody will get a point.
We don't even have that many drivers signed up at the moment.
With 23, yep, they will be signing up hopefully as we're getting the season underway. And no ballast for qualifying, but of course we have ballasts. Once again, you want to explain how that ballast situation works for everybody?
Well, in terms of ballast, I think I said this before, Biggles, but in terms of ballast for this session, we have 40 kilograms down from the top 8 in qualifying. 40 kilograms for P1, and it will go down in increments of 5 for the top 8. If you're 9th, you won't have any ballast. So I think at the end of the day, 9th might be the place to be, because in race 2 it will be the exact same story. The top 8 from qualifying, P1 will get 40 kilograms and it will go down in increments of 5. So I think P9 could actually be the best position to be. In terms of, you don't have any ballast, you will start 2nd in race 1, and you will not start too far back in race 2.
There you go. I think you're right on that one. So you could be playing a strategy game, per se, this season and getting the positions that you need to be in and not. Well, that's one thing we need to be looking at as well. So overall, of course, consistency is key to winning championships.
Well, that's how I think championships are won. It's not who can win the most races. If you win 12 races from the 24, but you DNF in the other 12 because you take too much risk, and the other guy finishes 2nd in all of them, eventually you're going to lose the championship because you're losing so many points in those 12 races that you DNF in. So consistency is everything.
And this man right now, you're right, of course, consistency. That's how you win championships. I've seen championships before in the leagues that we've cast, all the different leagues and motorsports. And I've seen a couple of championships before where a driver's won the championship and has not even won a single race. So there you have it. And how about this? We're running on at the moment there with Paul Hans, and now he's the only man that's elected to use the Opel car. And my friend used to have an Opel in Brisbane in Australia, and he was one of the only ones I know that had an Opel. I didn't even know the car existed until he had this small little hatchback Opel, which was a cool car.
Well, he's from Germany. I think that tells you more than enough.
Well, I mean, in Australia, these cars are pretty rare.
Yeah, but in Germany,
Yeah.
they're made in Germany.
Yeah.
So, that looked like a bit of a step for Paul Hans. So I think that tells you enough on the fact why he's driving that Opel. Of course, made in Germany. Paul Hans from Germany. 1 + 1 is 3, and you get Paul Hans in an Opel. So I think that's why he has driven that car now. I think 1, because it is made in his country, like I said. And 2, probably because he has some kind of connection to it or just really likes the car.
True. We have some chatters out there. If you would like to read the name of the chatter, if you don't mind, good luck on that one. And reading the chat.
In which chat is it, is my question then to you, Biggles.
It's on the Crest. This has also been streamed on 2 channels, of course, the JPBroadcasting Broadcasting Network, but it's on the Crest Autosports YouTube channel, my friend. Is where you're going to find that message at the moment.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Come on, you're good. You're good at pronunciations. Let me just see if I can get the game audio up a little bit too, as well, so we can hear that.
I'm gonna try, and well, can I copy that? No, I can't. Otherwise, I was gonna put it into Google Translate.
You know, Google translating.
But yeah, I can't pronounce that name.
Okay, it's fine. Maybe he can give us a shortcut name, but he goes, you don't know how jealous that he's not with us tonight. Hopefully next week he'll have his new wheelbase. Oh, what happened? Did you have a wheelbase problem? Is that the reason why you couldn't make it tonight? Please let us know, and also what your name is. How do we pronounce your name? Or how Dan pronounces it correctly. And how I can not pronounce it correctly.
Of course, you will always switch for it. You're Biggles. Butcher of the names.
Biggles the butchering of drivers' names, exactly.
Exactly.
So practice is almost over, mate. We will get ready to go racing. Finally, I've been waiting, about a month and change now. I've been waiting, I think, since the...
Somewhere around that. I think
time,
even
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to get underway with the green lights once again. And Biggles, Robert Stoughton here, I think, gonna do a practice start.
I was going to say, was he doing a burnout? Was that a bit early? Practice
That was
start.
a good one.
Yeah.
Got away well from his spot. And he will be looking to do that again in the race.
Yep. Absolutely.
I
Hopefully.
think
And do
within
it.
the top 10.
Well, he will be starting, I believe. Well, we'll see in a second where he's going to be starting, of course. At the moment, that timing table's only just from this practice session. It's ending.
Lee Horse once again on top.
That's true.
He
And
could be
just in
looking
practice
for,
is getting it done.
he could be looking for a grand slam. First in the first practice, then first in qualifying, first in the second practice. If he can win this race, he will basically have a grand slam until well, the end of this race, and then we go into a new 10 minutes practice. Will he take the win there again? We don't know. But yeah, he's on for a grand slam right now.
And bringing it to the champion for last season, of course, of Alex, is going to be the weight of basically, you know, putting your hand up and saying, I'm a new driver in town. Hello, hello. And Robert says, much love to you guys. Best wish for your racing. That's Robert from last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was Robert in this? I thought he was. I'm still confused, of course, because we got lots of these.
Anastasios Georgiadis.
Hey, is it?
I got it eventually. Yeah, I put it into...
There he is.
No. He said it himself. But yeah, Anastasios Georgiadis. But we're going to go green in the second here. 5 laps are on. It starts out, and away we go for race 1 from the 4th season of the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge. And it is Geoff Perkins with a really good start from second position. Pedro Santos looking behind them to try and overtake. And down the inside he goes, Biggles, but it looks like we're away cleanly.
Absolutely fantastic. Good bumping and grinding at the moment early, but they are all through. Safely, it seems. And of course, these are the two drivers in the reverse grid now. Alex and Lee are still running back there in P. Alex, I think, at the moment. It's Lee. Lee's around. Lee's around. There he is there.
Horn. And I don't think, Biggles, that will be a grand slam at this point for him. He's down into 22nd position ahead of Roy Plummer. But yeah, that is not going to be a grand slam for him at all. He'll be gutted that happened, and that basically gave the lead now to Geoff Perkins and gave Alex Everitt free time to try and chase through the pack now. He's already up into 6th position in that Lincoln Co. Through Aqua Minerale, we go up the hill, car bites, and we chase down now Ian Deeney ahead of us.
Yeah, Ian Deeney just up the road right there. As you can see, so Jeff's still holding off from Pedro Santos there in P1, P2. Ross is a little bit further down the road, probably mounting a challenge right now, actually. If anything, here he is. Ross making a run on Pedro. On the inside, there's Ross. There's Pedro on the outside, but they're going to be reversing this when you come into this next corner coming up now.
He's going to try and keep it down the inside. Ross Butcher, can he keep it there? Yes, he can. He's now going to try and keep the inside for the next part as well. Can he do that? Yes, he can. Pedro Santos has to slot in behind. He now is in second, trying to chase down Geoff Perkins. Gets a good exit out of the last corner, side by side, a little bit further back between Ian Deeney and Jurgen Masby Peterson. I think in the Lincoln Co. Yes, it is. He's going to try and overtake into the Variante Tamburello, excuse me. Down the inside, is going to try and go a little bit further back in the Hyundai as well. Who's that then?
Further back, it's, yeah, Fabio Gil, I think, is there, but that's Alex, of course. Alex is up here already into P6, and look at this from Alex's. Once again, riding shotgun with Alex, and he can see that car, and you can see the exit speed that he's got on the power now. Hit the loud pedal, make this car as loud as possible, Alex style.
Oh, try and put it up the inside. No room for you there, son. He's going to try and do it now into the Variante.
But there's a challenge for the lead.
Piratella. A challenge for the lead into Piratella as well. He's going to try and go down the inside. Can he make that one stick? Difficult corner to make that one stick. They're now going to go side by side into the Variante, or well, Acqua Minerale, just it's called. Not the Variante Acqua Minerale, just Acqua Minerale. Beautiful corner, that one. And the new leader, Geoff Perkins, down into second. And Ross Butcher up into P1.
Get it done, look at this behind, yeah.
He might be losing another position. The number 55, Alfa Romeo, to the number 5, Hyundai. He's going to try and put it down the inside for the second part, and he does. Pedro Santos, beautiful move there into the Variante Alta. That corner lends itself for overtaking, although it is quite tight there on the exit.
Hey, you got it. Yeah, you do. We saw this last season. You've just got to get your elbows out. Further back, of course, there's a battle here between Stevie. That's brewing up at the moment. There's Stevie, there's Fraser around him, and Paul Hans. They're squabbling out there for 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Stephen Gravely instead trying to make that pass on Fraser Rossi. Now pulls on to the inside for the Variante Bassa. I love that corner, just to pronounce it. Beautiful Italian. Now into the Variante Tamburella we go. Gonna try carry it around the outside of the first part. That will give him the inside for the second part, but he can't. Has to bail out of that one.
Yeah, and once again, sorry, the front. This action's occurred.
Ross Butcher still at the front. I think he had Paul Hans right up alongside him, or right at the back of him, did Stephen de Gravely. But look at this then, a battle around the outside of Doza. He's going to be able to make that one stick. No, he's not. That will now make him vulnerable for Geoff Perkins behind him. This is a great battle. Alex Everitt now up to P5. And you can just see him now ahead of us. Down into P6, he goes once again. Down the inside of us, Ian Dini. We carry it around the outside, push it to the inside. Ian Dini going to try and carry around the outside of Acqua Minerale, and he's ahead once again. So Alex Everitt, his progression through the field stopped a little bit there by Ian Dini. Not letting it through as easily as he might have done last season, probably.
No, not enough. And, well, Lee, have a look at back this where Lee is currently at the middle. He'll have to slice his way through 17 or 16 drivers really to get back up to where he would like to be. They did get their 2 points for qualifying, no doubt, but he's got a lot of work to do here. And, well, he's getting it done. Of course, out a little bit further up the road there, yeah, Ricardo Pesa Santos trying to make his way around Alex Ward.
Yeah, well, I've actually... Biggles that's a touch there between Ricardo Pessoa Santos and Alex Ward. What I was going to say, Biggles, I actually have a friend who raced in the Italian Touring Car Championship, Niels Langeveld, and he became champion this season, this year.
Well, I was just the fact you have a friend. And are you kidding, mate?
Of course,
just messing with you.
I'm from the Netherlands, and he was from the Netherlands as well. So Dutch people can race.
Yeah, what is it? There's Dutch racing, winning another championship in Formula 1. They're in almost every league on the planet that I've ever casted for, apart from this one currently, moment. You don't have that Dutch driver. Yeah. We did have one.
We had one.
Yeah.
I think we had one last season, but he said he was going to be here this season, but he is nowhere to be seen, sadly. So no Dutch driver here this evening with us. A little bit deep there from Ricardo, or from Pedro Santos. That was his lie, but that allowed Geoff Perkins to try and maybe send it down the inside. Not able to get close enough, though. Now look at this then, side by side of this. Alex Everitt now on the inside of Ian Dini. He's going to be pushed to the inside. Breaks later. Latest of the latest breakers. Pushes him wide to the outside. And now Alex Everitt is finally ahead. Does what Ian Dini did to him last lap. And he can now go and chase down Jurgen Matvey Peterson ahead of him in the Lincoln Co as well. He might be a little bit more cooperative. Look at this then, a battle for the lead. Ross Butcher under attack from Pedro Santos into the Variante Alta. The inside for the first part, outside for the second part. Is he going to lose that position? Yes, he is. Can't slot in front of him, but luckily for him, he can slot in behind Ross Butcher once again.
And Jorgen's just kind of sitting here, just a little bit further back. And now one thing, he's got a mirror full of Mr. Alex Everitt, last year's champion here for the C1 division. And, well, they're teammates, but in the same livery. But I'm sure they're teammates, of course. This is Team
He's actually
Madsbury.
part of Team Madsby. And I think that's just because it's Jürgen Madsby Peterson. So Team Madsby is the team from Jürgen Madsby Peterson. So he is at the moment, I think, first of his own team.
And look at this again. Brewing at the front. Petros Santos trying to get past Mr. Rock Butcher.
Is he going to be able to make that ball stick this time around? Not quite. Already, Biggles. Only 7 minutes to go. Halfway through this race already and a little bit more. Alex Everitt, not as quick coming through the field as he was last season. Currently up the back of Jürgen Madsby Peterson, but still behind him he has Ian Deeney, so not as quick as I think we expected him to be.
They're just getting warm-ups, mate. The engine's still got some cobwebs in them. How about further back, Rebo Schneider and Fabio Gil? They should be side by side pretty much around here now. There it is, almost. Looks like Fabio might slot in behind for now.
Oh, he tried to outbrake him, but Fabio Gil couldn't quite do it in that Hyundai of his. Alex Everitt, though, trying to attack a little bit further up the road. Jürgen Madsby Peterson. I'm just going to call him Peterson because that's a mouthful of a name. Alex going to try and overtake him into the Variante Alta. Of course, that's also a section of 2 corners, basically, because you have this part, the first corner to the right, which is turn 14, and turn 15 to the left. So it isn't one corner, this chicane. Actually, Biggles, just an interesting fact.
Oh.
It's 2 separate corners.
I just like pineapple on my pizza, so pretty much been banned from Italy.
Oh, Biggles, yeah, of course. And that is
Oh,
correct.
here it is again.
Oh, a battle for the lead. Russ Butcher now on the outside. Pedro Santos is going to try and make this pass stick on the inside. Can he do so? Yes, he can. They're side by side now, coming onto the main straight through Variante Bassa, where, of course, we have that little bit of chicane for the moto. There we go, past it on the right-hand side of the screen right now. But Pedro Santos is ahead. Ross Butcher now is side by side with Geoff Perkins. But Geoff Perkins has to slot in behind once again. Ross Butcher could lose 2 here.
He could. It might be okay slotting him for now. But there is Jorgen. Further back too, Rebo Schneider. He's going to be going side by side, I believe, with Fabio and Fraser Rostens. That's in your top 10.
Well, at the moment, if we look a little bit further back, Lee Horn up into P16. Only 7 seconds still behind the leader, Lee Horn, trying to come through really quickly. He's now behind Nigel Stock, trying to make that pass in the number 55 Cupra Leon. But yeah, he dropped back in the beginning, but his comeback through the field has been, well, let's say quite impressive.
Ross Butcher, as you said, that was leading this race, but look at this. Look who's in the mix here. Let's go on board with Alex, because he's now in P4, and he can see those 3 drivers up the road here. Lap 6, 4 minutes to go.
4 minutes and spared to go now. 4 minutes exactly into the Variante Alta. Gets a good exit out of there. Now he can try and go up the inside of Geoff Perkins. And you can see just the champion mentality. He just knows where to put his car, knows when to play on the exit. Does that beautifully here. Has the outside for the first spot, a little bit of contact. Down the inside, actually shoots wide. And is lucky that he doesn't collect Pedro Santos on the way in. But that was a little bit too late in the brakes, I think, for Alex Everitt. Just wanting that P3 a little bit too much. And taking a little bit too much risk. Now look at this, Russ Butcher up to the lead once again. Pedro Santos trying to make that pass stick. Was in the lead last lap. But under pressure, cracked a little bit, made that mistake, and now he's going to try and have to go around the outside of Variante Tamburello once again. The outside for the first part, not quite able to stick it around the outside. Alex Everitt now going to try and get that cut back to the inside of Geoff Perkins. Defending the inside is Ross Butcher. Lets everyone past.
Yeah.
Well, that's a weird one.
Now it's down to P4, P5 actually, because Jorgen's gone through.
That's a weird one. I don't know if you have actually slowdowns like in iRacing here.
Yeah.
Or is he out of fuel?
It could be. Yes, it's creeping around at the moment. He's going to get out and push it further up. Of course, we need to keep an eye on this one, but he's definitely struggling big time. Now, pit stops are not required, I believe, in this first race.
No, they're not. They're not required in this first race because we only have 15 minutes. In the second race, which will be 15 minutes long, yes, there will be a mandatory pit stop with 2 tires and fuel is compulsory. So we're looking at Remo Schneider, who is now, courtesy of Ross Butcher dropping down, taking over 7th position. Fabio Gil ahead of him. But I think we have a battle for the lead once again. Look at this, Alex Everitt now involved in this as well. He's finally come through again. And Geoff Perkins in 2nd. Now wanting to stick closely behind the back of Pedro Santos. Pedro Santos now finally unleashed to try and create a little bit of a gap. Immediately does so. Alex Everitt, his fastest lap time of 1:54.121. If I quickly take a look at the best lap time from the guys ahead of him. Geoff Perkins with a 1:54.281 and Pedro Santos with a 1:56.147. So Pedro Santos, not the quickest at all, but just consistent. And I think that's why he's at the moment in the lead, and that is why he's been there so long. A almost personal improvement, 0.002 of a second slower when Geoff Perkins on that last lap.
And look at that, just gets a drive-through penalty, I believe, just came up there for a second. So Pedro Sanchez... It gets a drive-through penalty. Did you see that? Comes up for a split second. I do have the timer on longer, but here we go. At the moment, look behind him there. Geoff Perkins now overtaken by Alex.
And I think this might then be an overtake for the lead. I don't think we're on the last lap quite yet. This could well be the last lap. It's going to be actually close if we look now on the front of Alex Everitt's car. Could he do this on track? Or is he going to have to wait for Pedro Santos to take that drive-through into Tosa? We go now and into the Aqua Minerale. Difficult one. After a touch there between Alex Everitt and Pedro Santos. Around the outside is going to have to try and carry it. That corner does lend itself to do so. But Alex Everitt is going to do it on track. Probably is. Geoff Perkins is going to make it 3 wide into Variante Alta. Not a corner to go 3 wide into.
No.
But Alex Everitt does manage to get through cleanly and is now up into P1 on track. And we are definitely on the last lap. Like I said, it was going to be close, but the timer is on 0. Alex Everitt going to have to try and defend this. A loss and up the inside of Pedro Santos. Not quite able to get close enough. And Alex Everitt is going to come through victorious in race 1 here this evening, and the first race of season 4 of the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge. Alex Everitt wins ahead of Pedro Santos. Will he keep that 2nd position though, because he did have a drive-through ahead of Geoff Perkins. Pedro Santos though, I think the talking point here, because if he does have that drive-through, that is then going to give 2nd place to Geoff Perkins.
Yeah, I don't know if he has to say that drive-through in the next race or not, but either way, I did see that message come up for a second. We'll get a clarification, of course, from race control. But down in the field there's Fabio Gil, Remo Schneider that came into your P6 position there, and there's your results.
Well then, let's go through them. Alex Everitt in P1, and as we can see, confirmation, Geoff Perkins in P2, and not Pedro Santos. Jurgen Masvi Peterson in P3, Fabio Gil P4, Remo Schneider P5, P6 for Steven the Gravelayer, Fraser Rostens P7, Ross Butcher in P8 after that drop down. I don't know what exactly happened. Paul Hans in P9, Alex Ward P10, 11th, Ricardo Pessoa Santos 12th, Greg Deakin, Nigel Stock P13, Lee Horst P14, P15 for Neil Crave, Ian Deeney in P16. We have Rodrigo Portugal in P17, 18 is Robert Stoughton, and we now get kicked out of the session.
Yeah, I got it.
Nice.
Let me just sort out that graphic again, of course, no doubt, so we can get that back up for us for the race results.
It's quite big again, Biggles.
Yeah, I got it down. That's right about it. It changes all the time, remember? I got it. There we go.
Well then, in P17 we have Rodrigo Portugal, Robert Stoughton in P18, P19 for Plummer, and Lopez in 20th. Gabriel Lopez in 20th. The Crest Autosport with Apex Tracks, though, only represented at the moment, I think, by the one and only Alex Everitt.
And on top of it, Stevie did get the fastest lap there for the Belgian driver. as you can see to the right-hand side. He set that, I think, very late into the race.
He did.
Extra points is what they say.
Well, every point counts. But Stephen the Gravelayer starting with a strong evening once again. Remember, last season he was in Category 3, and for a driver from Category 3, last season to finish now 6th overall. That's not too bad at all.
Absolutely. So that was our race 1 done there for the 15 minutes with the reverse top 10 grid from qualifying. Not that that really worried Alex a little bit too much about it, doesn't it? I mean, he did start P9, ended up in P1.
He did. Well, guys, I think for us now, it's once again time to go to a Be Right Back screen. And once we come back, we're here with race 2, so don't leave us.
The GP Box is an online marketplace for motorsports merchandise and memorabilia. Browse for a whole range of motorsports products in all forms of motorsport. Take Formula 1 for example. There is a whole section dedicated to Formula 1 products from your favourite drivers, cars, teams or tracks from all eras of Formula 1. There are more series available, including WRC if you are a rally fan. You can even search for your favourite form of motorsports to see what products they have in your favourite forms of motorsport. Or, if yourself are a retailer in motorsport, you could set up your own shop within the GP Box to open up your products to a much bigger motorsport audience. Find out more at thegpbox.com. The GP Box is an online marketplace for motorsports merchandise and memorabilia. Browse for a whole range of motorsports products in all forms of motorsport.
Well then, we're back at the circuit, the Enzo Edino Ferrari Imola. And Biggles, we've just seen a crazy first race and we're about to get into a 50-minute feature race where pit stops have to be done.
They don't have to, but you might get a penalty. And you might need some fuel. I'm not sure about the fuel. Are they going to be taking in fuel during a pit stop or not? Because it's the first time for the season 4 here that at Crest Autosport that we're going to be doing these pit stops.
Well, you need fuel. I think in the end, if they're done together with the tires, I think take it, because you have less weight in the first part and you have to take at least 2 tires. So if tires and fuel are done at the same time, I would take it. If not, then I would get all the fuel I need in at the beginning of the race, because these cars have quite a big fuel tank.
Oh, there you go. And they have extra weight on board too if you have ballast applied.
Of course, which is gonna use more fuel as well.
Yeah. Dan's just, Alex is just reading that message that you did when you, he's timed me out of YouTube for 300 seconds.
Yeah, I am sorry.
That's because I can't stop shutting up in the YouTube channel, see? Like, look at all my talking that I'm doing in there. No, it's fine. That was just an accident. It's not a problem. It's all good. But in 3 seconds, so we're not going to time out these drivers now, are you, Dan?
No, I won't. The only possibility is that Lee Horn times himself out again and goes off in turn 4. Which I don't hope he does, because he actually could bring the challenge to Alex.
Yeah, he's going to be starting on pole for this race, of course, because he qualified on pole in our qualifying session earlier. So that is exactly where he's going to be able to start. And real quick there, I will show you the qualifying overlay for a second before we get ready for the race, and you can see that at the moment. So the Battle of the Brits at the front, mate. But the Next Gen Racing team look pretty strong going to this one, with also Jeff down there at P9.
Well, if we look at these results, Lee Horn will be starting in pole position, Alex Everitt in 2nd. Fraser Ross is in 3rd, Fabio Gale P4, 5th Remo Schneider, Russ Butcher in P6, Ian Deeney P7, Jurgen Matthew Peterson in P8, P9 for Geoff Perkis. And rounding off the top 10 is Pedro Santos, 11th Stephen de Gravelier, Paul Hansen P12, 13th Neil Cray, 14th Nigel Stock, Alex Warden P15, P16 Ricardo Pessoa Santos, Robert Stoughton in P17, Rodrigo Portugal in P18, P19 for Carl Schmidt, and Roy Plummer in P20.
We do have some more, but unfortunately, we can't capture it all like that. I can't capture it scrolling at the same time. It's just a couple more drivers because I think the Colombian driver was there. One thing you're going to be stuck with, of course, for 50 minutes is myself, Dean Biggles, and Dan, the man. Pepels, I think. I can't pronounce your surname there, Dan.
Pepels.
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 Yes? People. Pepels. All right.
Somewhere around that, but we're 5 red lights on. And they are taking a long while. They're out and we're underway for the 15-minute feature race here at Imola. Leading us away from pole position is Lee Horn. Then into 2nd is Alex Everitt. And behind that is Lee Horn, his teammate in the name of Fraser Ross in that Cupra Leon. Is there going to be a move done into the first corner? The Variante Tosa, I think it is. No, it's not. It's the Variante Tamburello. But Biggles, we're through cleanly.
We are. That's good to see. And I don't know if Alex is going to look at challenging. Remember, it's a lot longer of a race now, so we're not into like a sprint format. This is feature. So you got to go. You don't have to go, I mean, as quickly, because you got a bit of an endurance race on your hands.
Well, 50 minutes isn't that long, Biggles, so you do have to make the most of the time. Especially now you can make up positions easily.
Well, it's not like 12 hours in Monza, no experience the other day.
Well, that was also in Italy, but no, that's indeed not the case. 15 minutes, still quite a long time to go. It's the longest race I've commentated on with TCRs. I have done quite a few with TCRs in iRacing as well, but yeah, that's a bit wide from, I think that is Paul Hans in the Opel. Yes, very instinctive shape that Opel has, but yeah, a little bit too wide there. Dropping down into 9th is Jurgen Matthew Peterson, overtaken by Geoff Perkis in the Alpha, and Ian Deeney ahead of that. The Alpha's not too bad either this season.
I tell you what, yeah, and yep, you had to put up with me for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 hours casting side by side. You're like, okay, it's enough, Biggles. I can't handle it anymore. Anyway, you can handle me. Look at this up the road. What's happened here? Is that Neil or Jeffrey? Can't quite see that. Somebody's went really wide there, and it's into a three-way battle here. There's Jorgen right here too. Here it is. Jorgen going through the middle, perhaps.
I don't think he's going to try this in the middle, but yeah, Jürgen Masi Peterson carrying the car around the outside of, if I'm correct, that is Neil Creve in the Cupra. Yes, it is. But trying to make that pass, think he can. And now up the road once again ahead of him is Jürgen Masi Peterson, going to try and chase him down. 6/10 is the gap at the moment. 2.5 minutes into this race, 1.5 lap in. The gap in front of the field, though, still at 2.5 tenths. A little bit of a touch here, though, between the Opel of Paul Hans and Alex Ward.
Craig Deacon, I think. Up. Yeah, Craig Deacon here, isn't it?
Great. Yeah. I thought that was the Opel ahead of him. I think Paul Hans is now through. Craig Deacon now side by side with Alex Ward. Rodrigo Portugal in 16, dropping down a little bit there. Around the outside, though, goes Ross Butcher up the inside of Fabio Gil, I think it is. Or is it Ian Dini? Could be either one of them. I think it's Ross Butcher who's now ahead of Remo Schneider.
Look at this.
This is a good battle here, Biggles.
Yeah, there's also a battle brewing at the lead, but I want to continue this one at the moment there because that's Alex Everitt, like looking to make a pass soon on Lee. But this definitely, it looks like they're going to slide in here and be okay with that. And maybe Alex has elected to hold off his overtake so that we can catch it on camera at the same time. Oh, that'd be nice. I don't think they're thinking about that, my friend.
I don't think so either. Well, the thing is, these drivers, of course, want to perform as best as they can anyway. I don't think they need to be in camera for that to get that motivation.
It's showtime.
It's always showtime for these drivers. If they go out on track, they will always do their best. A little bit further back, like Biggles said, Robert Stoughton going to try.
No, it's going for it now, but sorry, I have to cut this off because this is it. Alex now making a run for the lead of the race here on his fellow countryman Lee. Lee Horn, of course, is relatively new to the season. That looked relatively way too easy, didn't it? Looks like Lee didn't put too much of a fight up.
No,
what happened there?
Yeah, I think 50 minutes to go. If he can just maybe save fuel behind Alex, he doesn't have to put in as much during the pit stop.
And here's Mr. Santos that did a fantastic job. And look at that, it's been squeezed at the moment there between Stevie and Craig Deacon, I think. Somewhere else happening along the line here, but that's definitely a battle down there for Mr. Santos, who did quite well, I'd say, in the previous race, of course, apart from that penalty, but didn't do so great in his qualifying or that, or he's currently running.
Yeah, the Santos you're talking about is in P7 at the moment.
Sorry, that's right, there's two of them. I'm getting all confused. That's Pedro Santos, yes.
Pedro Santos and Ricardo Pessoa Santos, who tries to make that pass around the outside of Craig DK, does manage to do so, but not without a touch, Biggles.
Yeah, but you got to grind a little bit around here, and these cars are pretty tough. They can handle it, touring cars. You think they can handle it? Here's Ian, last of the late breakers here for the privateer team. Running in the Alfa Romeo. Sure you get a lot of cheers as he goes past the grandstands here in Imola, because of course he's an Italian manufacturer.
I think it's the only Italian manufacturer on the grid at the moment. The Alfa Romeo is not performing, well, let's say, too great in their home race at the moment. P10 and P11 is not bad, but for your home race, you're definitely hoping to be at least on the podium, I think, with that car.
And, well, here's the actual correct Santos that I wanted to get this time around, that I just spoke about.
Also making a move now down the inside of Remo Schneider. Can he make that pass? I think he is on the right side for the first part and touch between those two. But Pedro Santos keeps ahead now of Remo Schneider, who's demoted down to P7 now. Can he come back into the second part here? Can he come back into the Variante Villeneuve? No, he can't. Has to start in behind, and I think now it's going to be Pedro Santos who's going to be looking to try and attack Ross Butcher out of him.
And on top of this, well, Lee's starting to pull a bit of a gap away now, isn't he? Alex, I mean, from Lee. Lee Horn's now almost half a second, then he got a gap to Frazier Rostens.
At the end of the day, half a second is not that much, Biggles.
No, but once again, as you said, it could be looking about how their fuel strategy is going to pan out, because this is our first 50-minute feature race of the season, and we have no idea about the pit stop strategies just yet.
Well, who's going to pit when? That's the question.
Yeah.
Do you pit early, stay out of the fight? Do you miss out on slipstream? A lot of things to take into account. Losing a little bit of time there is once again Ross Butcher. Losing time once again, dropping down the order. Seemingly just not having the pace in a straight line.
Yeah, but Remo Snyder does. As he wants to get past the Portuguese driver. There's two Portuguese drivers up the road, actually, because the other Portuguese driver, Fabio Gil, is trying to get past Frazier. And then Remo Snyder here is trying to get past Pedro Santos. So, battles everywhere, of course. Only eight minutes and change into this race.
Remo Snyder now going to try and look to catch up to the back of Pedro Santos. The battle for P5 already, because I do think we have someone already into the pit lane, because if I remember correctly, that battle was for P6. Fraser Rostens, though, the man defending from Fabio Gil, they already have a gap of about almost 2.5 seconds.
Is that a car that just lifted off the little pass there, being lapped already? Interesting.
That's...
Yeah, I think it might have. Ian. I think it was Ian.
Ian, I think he's pitted really early.
Yep. And he's just elected to, just get out of the way. Doesn't want to be a part of that. Doesn't want to throw away. We don't see lap cars very often. We didn't see lap cars real often last season. I'm sure we might see a few lap cars tonight. And this battle's still brewing at the moment, isn't it? Behind Pedro Sanchez, Remo Snyder, Ross Butcher, Jorgen, of course, Peterson.
I think this battle is going to go until they go into the pit phase. We're already almost 10 minutes into this race. 41 minutes and spare on the clock. When would you personally be pitting, Biggles?
I wouldn't at all. I'd be
you
like,
would take a penalty for a drive?
I'd expect maybe the last lap or something like that if you could go that long. I mean, we're not sure how long a pit stop's going to hurt you around here. I know in Formula 1 time. About 22 seconds in Formula 1, but we're not in Formula 1 cars.
Well, not at all. These are a whole different kind of beast. Front wheel driven, of course. These cars, as we look now with the number 96 of Fabio Gil, who got past Fraser Rostens.
He did, yeah.
Though, now
That's
the one leading the way there for that team. This battle then, Nigel Stock trying to get past. Man ahead of him, Greg Deakin. This is a tight battle.
Ooh, can he get the exit?
Inside. He got the better exit, and now he's going to try and tow up along his teammate, who's right up ahead of him, giving him that tow. Actually, it seems like he's giving Greg Deakin that tow.
Yeah.
And he does. Look at that, Greg Deakin putting ahead. That's a bit dirty here from his teammate, I think.
That's interesting. Absolutely. That's Stevie up the road. Bang. There. There's Craig Deakin behind him, and there's Nigel Stock.
Might that be an inter-team battle where they say, I'm quicker, no, I'm quicker, and because he says I'm quicker, he's going to help the other guy.
There's another battle brewing here between Paul Hans and Robert Stoughton.
Robert Stoughton.
Yeah.
I think it's called that way. Well, we gave it a best shot at least. Robert Stoughton trying to make that pass for quite some time now on Paul Hans in the Opel. Now down the inside of Piratella. Not quite able to make that pass stick. Breaks late though. And almost catches Paul Hans out. But Paul Hans though knows what he's doing in that Opel. And into P12, the best Opel in the field at the moment.
Yeah, of course, because it's the only Opel. I see where you went on that one.
I like the Opel. I have a soft spot for it.
It's still brewing, but I kind of think Robert wants this one.
Well, he's going to have to try down the inside of the Variante Alta. The first part of the chicane. Tries it. It's going to go in deep. Leaves Paul Hans no room at all in the second part. And kind of forces his way through. But yeah, well, he's up at the P12 now. And going to try and get away from Paul Hans.
Now, we have to get... I'm seeing a lot of invalidated laps, too, coming around from a lot of the drivers. But look at Alex. Look at that gap that he has currently at the moment there on the man that we thought could bring it to him. We'll go back to that in a second, but because here's a battle brewing between Neil Cave there and Jeff Burkus.
Well then, this is the battle for 9th and 10th. Neil Crave defending that position in the Cupra Leon against the Alfa Romeo. Is he going to be able to keep ahead, do you think, of the Alfa, or is the Alfa just a little bit too quick with maybe a home advantage a little bit?
As soon as a noisy truck goes past me outside the casting box, I could probably hear you. But yes, I think it's going to continue for a bit. I mean, it's very hard to judge, isn't it, which is the right machines, because some of these machines are tuned well for some of the tracks, and some of them ain't so good. It's not the temple of speed, of course, at Imola, so you don't have that those long straights that you get in Monza to give you an indication of which car has the, the real straight lines pace. I still don't know these cars that well, even though we casted last season, didn't we? Like many races, but here we go. There's still Robert and Paul.
Paul Hand's going to try and make that pass around the outside of that corner. That's never going to work out. They both go wide. That's allowing the pair behind them to catch up. Stephen de Grevelier and, or is that Rodrigo Portugal with Ricardo Pessoa Santos? It is those two, and Stephen de Grevelier behind that as well, catching up. So this is allowing both of them to catch up to the back of them and maybe, well, get each other with this fight.
Well, it's a battle for the Portugals there, isn't it? You got Ricardo Santos, and then you got this Portuguese driver of Rodrigo. So yeah, I don't love between countrymen here.
I'm still rooting for the Opel of Paul Hans. He's not being attacked around the outside of.
Ooh.
Oh, they both go wide, they both go off, and they both lose positions. And that is not what they wanted into Rivazza. They both shoot wide. Paul Hans breaks a little bit too late, and I think Biggles just takes Ricardo Pessoa Santos with him. And he was a passenger at that point on the outside, had no room to turn in at all.
Yeah.
And they go into the pit lane immediately.
Did they go on the pit lane, did they? Yeah. I didn't see that.
Ricardo Pessoa Santos didn't, but I think Paul Hans did in the Opel.
Yeah, he did. Actually, there is right there. Correct. Good call. Now, that's one of the first pit stops you've seen, actually. I have to say that, from not like the very early pit stops. So that's going to be something interesting to look at. Alex now has a 1.2 second gap there over Lee Horn. We thought Lee Horn was going to be the new Top Gun in town, isn't it? To try to dethrone Mr. Alex from winning another championship. But hey, it ain't over yet, of course. He's still running in a comfortable P2. That's a comfortable P2 because Fabio Aguilera, the Portuguese driver's 4 seconds and change down the road, but trying to hold off Fraser within that 1 second gap. Further back here, I don't think we've seen too much of Carl Smith, but there's Carl Smith there for the Danger Racing Squad. Danger. Carl, Danger.
In a battle with Gabriel Lopez. By the way, guys, if you were wondering how can we keep track of if they've pitted or not, on the left-hand side, you can see a little icon. That is now at the moment, right? And you can just see Paul Hans. He's got into the pit lane, and his icon has turned green. So once that icon has turned green, just take a look at where your favorite driver is. Once that icon has turned green, or if it's already green, in case of that your favorite driver is Paul Hans, then he has already, or he still needs to make that pit stop. Red means he still needs to make that pit stop, or is making his pit stop. Green means he has made that pit stop already that he needs it to do.
I'm glad you told me that, because I didn't know. Nothing gets past Dan. Dan the wise man. Just to mention Apex tracks, so do you say before, which one did you have printed?
Nürburgring Nordschleife.
Yeah, I need to get one. I'm not sure which track. If you're in the chat there, any particular track you'd like to get put up on your wall? I don't know. See, being an Australian, I don't really like the Albert Park circuit that much. You can see this battle brewing here between Neil Cave and Alex Ward. That's the one there. Yeah, I just don't know which track. I mean, Monaco, meh. No, I don't really like Monaco. I'd say Singapore. I like Singapore, really. It's got 23 corners and street circuit, first night circuit. Yeah, that's one I get printed. Maybe Brands Hatch too. That's a great track.
Get them all. That's what I would
get them all, but I gotta run out of walls. Oh, who's gone off deep in the background there? Was that Stevie? Somebody went really wide.
Remo Schneider, I think at the moment in P6 with a battle on his hands as well with Ross Butcher, who's gaining on him. Here we have him, Remo Schneider. Just in the background there is Ross Butcher. I think one of the closest battles we have at the moment is the battle with Neil Crave and Alex Ward, and Geoff Perk is there.
Yeah.
just a little bit further back in the field here, we have Alex Ward on the back of Neil Crave, and actually gaining into the Variante Alta. He's going to be able to make that pass.
You got to put on a more accent, a little lift on your accent if you're going to speak Italian, my friend. You gotta sound more excited.
Variante Alta.
There you go. Yeah, man. Italians are very passionate about their language, man, and their food and their culture. So
Variante Alta.
you have to relay that through to the language.
Well, I had to pronounce a certain Italian name of a real-life name driver. Or of a real-life driver, and you might know him when I say it. Into the pit lane, though, goes Neil Crave, I think.
Yep. There he is. The Neil star.
Mirko Bortolotti.
Hey, Bortolotti! You gotta go higher! Come on!
Exactly. But yeah.
Have you ever met a non-passionate Italian? Oh, he's had to back up into his pit box. He's missed it. That's costing a lot of time here. He's done like a Lewis Hamilton and many other Formula 1 drivers have actually driven through the wrong pit box before back in the days that you've seen that one. Yeah. Yeah, have you never met a passionate Italian man? They are very, very passionate. That's something called tifosi here, my friend. Tifosi. They're sitting in the grandstands. There's lots of them.
I've never really met an Italian, to be honest. We should go outside one time of this commentary box because the Italians are really passionate.
About 50,000 of them down there somewhere, mate. So you'll find them, pretty sure.
We have to get through the traffic as well. They're really passionate about that as well.
Yeah.
They sometimes give you a little handshake, as you know the real Italians do.
Yeah. Stevie there. Well, he's not Italian, but my friend, but he lives in a beautiful country called Belgium, and has a beautiful track, of course, called Spa. I wonder if Stevie has Apex printed Spa on his wall next to his racing rig.
Well, Belgians are not that proud of their own tracks, I have to agree. I've met a couple of Belgian people when I went to the 24 hours of Spa.
You went there? You went to 24 hours of Spa?
Of course I did. Second year in a row.
Wow. Did you watch the whole 24 hours?
It's a beautiful event. Like I said, my friend Mirko Bortolotti was racing there. They were actually quite well until the 6th hour struck. They got a puncture and they had to retire in, I think, the 12th hour or something because, well, drama struck.
Oh. Punch it too. Oh, and that's there it is. Rodrigo, Portugal. I think the man's from Portugal. Of course, the Crest Autosport team there, number 14, electing to visit the pit lane now, and that's something else. And here's Stevie making a run, currently on Robert. Again, he's the best friends, I'm sure, on the track. Off track, they're probably best friends. Yep.
Well, Stephen the Gravelayer, once I think the helmet goes on, or I think he clicks on start race, everyone is an enemy for him.
Oh, absolutely, mate. Yeah. You could be best of friends. Drivers. You and me, my friend. You and me. You know, we get along well, and you know, we're mates. Yeah, we do. I believe. I thought we did. But you get me in a helmet driving against you, mate. I'm elbows out. All right. You're gonna be you're gonna be shouting at me all the time.
Are you fair elbows out, or are you unfair?
No. I like these races, like long races, where strategy works for my favor because I used to actually do a bit of engineering as well for esports drivers and stuff like that. Before I get into casting, hung up my telemetry information and put the microphone on. But yeah, so I engineered some drivers into some great places before in the past, and that's how I drive as a strategist. It's because my pace is not there too, so I had to make up for in the pit stops. Like we've had a few of them now, as you just mentioned there before, Dan. The little green next to their name means that they've made their mandatory pit stop. Of course, they can make as many as they want, but you have to make one. Still, nobody in the top 10, top 12 yet to make a pit stop, and we're looking at the battle at the moment with Stevie. I wonder if Stevie's going to be happy here to get a tow from Robert, or is he going to be getting frustrated soon and maybe try an undercut?
Well, it looks like he's as quick as Robert Stoughton ahead of him. So it's going to be difficult for him to try an undercut because he needs that slipstream really to stay close. And I think he's just going to fall back into the same battle once he gets that overtake done. Now, though, up the inside goes Stephen the Gravelayer of Robert Stoughton. And is he going to be able to make that pass, take in the Lincoln Co on the Cupra? At the moment, it does look like he is. Has the inside for the first part. A beautiful switch back though from Robert Stoughton. Another switch back here. And another one coming up here. And now he gets the drive out of the corner. And into the variant de Villeneuve. Is he going to be able to make that pass? Not quite. And that is pass done for Stephen McGriff.
Yeah, brilliant. That's why you love those series of S's here at Imola, don't you? Because you can switch one way or another. Another, of course, just looking in the background there is Ricardo Barasa Santos. And once again, a bit of a gap's forming up the road there, but you can see now Lee Horn is about 2 seconds and change down the road there from Alex leading this race. This is one of your closest battles you're watching right now. Those pit stops, well, you'd have to say Fraser, right? Rostons is probably the leading car once he's had that pit stop. He's 50 seconds to change down from our race leader.
Well, he's definitely the lead car with a pit stop, but I think once we see those pit stops happen, Alex Everitt will still be at the top because, of course, he was on top when the pit stop cycle started. He can take as long as he wants with pitting. He can just go at his own pace and do whatever he wants. But getting pressurized now by Lee Horn. He's back into this.
Who actually missed their pit stop
Alex
before?
Everitt into the pits, I think,
Is
or
he?
has made a mistake.
He has made a mistake. No, he's in the pit lane. He's in the pit lane. There he is.
Oh, for a moment, I was worried there for Alex that he made a mistake, but he didn't.
How long? Have you got your stopwatch out? How long does it take for a pit stop around here?
I do not have my stopwatch out. Let me get it out.
Somebody else has come in as well. That's Jeffrey. Right there, passing us now.
If you can stay with Jeffrey, then.
He can pull right in front of there and make it even more difficult, I guess, for Alex to get out of his pit box. There it is. Alex just goes straight through him. I think you should be able to have to drive around the drivers, the cars. You can't just go straight through them. That's just, they do it in iRacing as well.
We're in the pit box already 20 seconds now. We add 10 seconds to that to drive to our pit box. So 30 seconds is the gap at the moment. Can we stay with the man in the pit box at the moment to see how long a pit stop takes us here?
Jorgen.
It's already taken us 40 seconds to drive from the beginning of pit lane to our pit box.
He's taking on tires, of course, because lift the car up.
Lights on. You have to take 2 tires. So he has to do that then. Coming out of pit lane, when is he going to be able to go off pit limits? There we go. It takes you about 1 minute and 5 seconds in pit lane.
All right. And Alex got it done, what, 44 seconds? He came back out behind the race leader now. And he had a little bit of a gap, of course. Look at this. As somebody just wants to get completely out of the way there of Jorgen. I think that was the 100 car right there behind him. It is. And that was Rodrigo.
Keep in mind, though, Biggles, I've had that mistake before. You don't actually lose 1 minute and 5 seconds. Because you are driving to your pit box and you don't lose that time. And you are driving to the end of pit lane. So you actually lose maybe half of that time. So if we do that, then you're going to lose about 40, 45 to 50 seconds.
Here's Remo Snyder coming into the pit stops right now to lose that time that you mentioned there as well. Got a long way to go too. He looks like his pit box is right down at the entrance. Not the entrance, the exit of the pit lane. So Alex will get past him. Fraser, I would imagine, might get past him. Let's have a look where Fraser is, because Fraser took one of those early pit stops before. Where's Fraser? Now coming down. The start line finish.
Remo Schneider now is ahead of him. So Remo
There's
Schneider
Remo.
now the lead car.
Yeah, that was close.
Rosson's ahead.
Yeah.
So
And also
Fraser
Ross
Rosson-
Butcher.
And
But that-
Alex Everitt also behind Fraser Rosson.
Yes, Alex is behind. Did Alex? Yeah. Well, what happened there? Because, hey, did I not tell you that Fraser taking that a pit stop earlier is now probably in the net lead of this race because you still have 7 drivers to box.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
What's happening to
Biggles
Alex
knows
Everitt?
best.
Why is he back into the pit lane then? Why was he back into the pit lane?
Did he forget to put fuel in or something? He went back in again, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. We saw him coming out of the pit lane. And he had already been into the pit lane, so that's a weird one.
Yeah, telemetry unfortunately doesn't show us the how many pit stops that they've conducted.
I'm pretty sure he's been into the pit lane twice.
You might be right. Lee's in now. And that's crucial. Can Lee come out ahead? Remember, Lee Horn that you're looking at right now qualified in P1. And it's up to him to get that car out. And you'd have to say, well, let's have a look where Frazier is. There's Frazier. Pedro's decided to come in.
Way out of him,
Yeah.
I think.
What about Alex Butt?
Oh,
Where-
also way out of him.
Yeah. So, Pedro has come in right now. Alex has come in. And who's that car that's already parked? That looks like it's retirement there, isn't it?
Where's Lee Horn? Is Lee Horn already out on track?
Yes, right now.
He's accelerating now. Pedro Santos coming up in the background.
That's the net lead. That's got to be the net lead.
It must be because he was in the lead when they came in.
Yeah. And we still have those other 3 drivers that are yet to box, and he's only 31 seconds away from them, so you definitely... That's going to be a little less time.
Well, Biggles, we're almost or already more than halfway through this race. This is already the longest we've driven here since we cast at Crest Autosport. The gaps are now forming. The closest battle we have on track is still within a 10, though. That's Geoff Perkins and Ricardo Pessoa Santos. The battle we are looking at right now between the Alfa Romeo and the Hyundai, but the Alfa Romeo is looking to drop back a little bit over that long race pace.
It is, and it's actually a bit of a breather, I'd have to say, from all switching all the 10,000 cameras as a director and casting, because, you know, the sprint races, as you know, mate, action-packed all the way.
Yeah.
Once again, this is more of an endurance race, even though it's an hour, but it's still, you know, you see the gap spread out through the field. And this is when the drivers have to just focus on their lap times, their delta times, isn't it? Consistently over and over again to make sure that even if they are lonely on the track, as they're not lonely at the track right now between these 2 gladiators. Or Centaurians.
They're side by side. Go on, Biggles. You were saying something?
I just said they're Centaurians, not gladiators. Here we go. Sorry, the rain's starting to bucket down here in my neck of the woods, which is about out on cue. Almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep, the usual
Dang.
rainfall that I get here in Panama. No rain, of course, unfortunately, in this game. Similar, sorry, my apologies. It's a sim.
Well, Biggles, for me at the moment, it's 20 minutes before 11.
Yep.
So,
Well, you need to
yeah.
rotate the earth a little bit more around
Yeah.
and fix that problem.
just get the Netherlands closer to Panama.
Yeah, sorry,
I hope
but
everything. I hope
you guys didn't colonize it, but you only colonized some of the islands in the Caribbean. You didn't quite colonize the Spanish. Took care of all that stuff down here in Panama. Let's have a look anyway. How about the Portuguese driver here of Santos still tucked up behind Jeffrey Perkins?
Geoff Perkins.
Jeff. I like calling him Jeffrey.
Geoff. Jeff. Yeah, works both.
Ooh,
Actually, we see quite a lot of battles now at the moment,
Yeah.
Biggles. We see this battle, Ricardo Pessoa Santos with Geoff Perkins. We see Ross Butcher with Fraser Rustans. And a little bit further up the road, Robert Stoughton also still really, really close towards the back of Stephen and Grevelier.
Yep.
So battles all over the field at the moment. This is the other battle. Ross Butcher on the back of Fraser Rustans. That gap at the moment 7 and a bit tenths. So could Ross Butcher be looking for a podium finish here?
Yeah, perhaps there's another one, of course, there's Lee Horn now. Oh, that's because right now Robert's gone into the pit lane. So Lee Horn back up into P2 and flying soon as Stevie's gone in. So that's it. So yeah, Lee's back onto the top because both those drivers, Robert and Stephen, have got in the pit box. So the last 2, I believe, will actually have to go down to Ian Deanley. As you can see, and Nigel Stock has retired from the session. Now, how much are they going to lose? Is Alex still going to come out ahead of him here? Yes, he will. Look, here's Alex now. They're going to be coming out of the pit lane soon. Where's Robert?
I think he's ahead.
Yeah, Alex is ahead for sure here. You won't see the other drivers. There's Robert coming out of the pit lane, and there's Stevie coming out. Stevie and there as well. And who was that just behind him? Is that Jeffrey? Yeah. So have they managed to come out just ahead of Jeff?
Yeah, that's Jeff Burkis. Yeah. Paul Hans, though, in that Opel, making that strategy work.
Brilliant. That's Paul Hans just up the road, of course. We're looking at Jeffrey trying to hold off Robert. That's just got some fresh boots, no doubt, on that pit stop. But he's got to get the tyre up to the temperatures, doesn't he? You can't just go straight out of the gate like a madman when you're driving in a very fast touring car. And Ricardo Santos again tucked up behind the number 55 car.
Well, Ricardo Santos will be trying to make this pass on Robert Stoughton. Can he make that pass? This is the closest battle we have on track for you at the moment. The Hyundai versus the Cupra. And the Cupra does seem to have a little bit of the edge through the corners, but the Hyundai comes back at him on the straights.
And Alex right now is coming back on Alex Ward. Here we go. Battle of the Alexes. We said that last season. And here we go. Just a different racing line that Alex Everitt takes, isn't it? Just something else.
Well, he has shown it in race 1. Can he make that comeback again in race 2? 27 seconds is the gap at the moment. That's a little bit bigger than it was in race 1, let's just say, Biggles.
Is this battle brewing again, my friend?
This is once again Ricardo Santos with Robert Stoughton. Robert Stoughton now going to try and make that pass in the Hyundai. Like I said, the Hyundai has the edge on the straight. There we go. But now the Cupra has the edge in the corners once again. Look at that. Braking later. Down the inside he goes once again. He's going to go deep. Hoping they do touch. And Ricardo Santos has to take the excursion onto the rumble strips and onto the gravel. That wasn't that nice from Robert Stoughton. No, off into the grass as well. Now, is Ricardo Santos, is his suspension broken maybe from those rumble strips? That could be quite the case. He won't be happy with that, will he?
No. That car's not looking very good at all. It's going to hit his full speed at the camera. He's out. Out of this race.
Ricardo Santos out from a very good position. And that he must be devastated with that.
I would be, absolutely. You could see that it went straight at the cameraman. Wasn't a happy camper of that car. I couldn't turn it properly. Too much damage. Another battle brewing between Fraser Rostons and Ross Butcher. A little bit further up here. Butch, yeah. Get that one right. I'm butchering Paul Ross's name.
You're butchering all names, Biggles. That's what you're here for.
Another battle brewing behind this too. Look at this as well. We've seen Paul Hines and Jeff go at it. Perkis. 2 for now. All race long. They've been doing this for about 30 to 40 minutes. Oh, well, say 20, 30 minutes.
I think this is going to last till the end, Biggles. 7 or 1.5 tenths is this gap. Paul Hans is going to have to try and defend this in his poor Opel, the one and only Opel in the field. At the moment in the top 10, not doing too bad at all.
Yeah. You have to say also the Portuguese drivers not doing too bad as well, too, in 2nd and 3rd place. As we are at lap 19. Doesn't seem like it. Seems like you've done a lot more laps of that, isn't it? But
yeah, but it's quite a long lap, though. Best lap at the moment, or the fastest lap at the moment, I think, held by the one and only. Well, who do you guess? Alex Everitt, 153.0.
Look at that.
So
Jeffrey can't get anywhere around here. He's trying, and Paul Ans is making that Opel. Parking it in all the right places. It's a very wide Opel right now.
And it is a very wide open. He's making it wide. Geoff Perkins doesn't know to, or wants to try and find a way past that Opel. He's going to try and do so. Yes, he is. Into the Variante Alta. Can he make that pass stick around the outside for the first part? That will give him the inside for the second part. But is now Geoff Perkins going to try and push him out wide? That could be the case, but not quite yet.
Giving it everything.
He's passed.
Yeah, he's got past. Paul wants a back butt. You're not going to be happy there. It's like anything you can do, I can do perhaps better next time. Perhaps like this. I'm not sure.
Trying to go up the inside. Trying to cut you off there, Biggles. He was deep into the first part of. Let me get names of Rivazza, and had to almost take to the gravel. But luckily kept the car on track. But Paul Hans not able to get the exit that Geoff Perkins did out of the last corner there of Rivazza, turn 18. And it's going to have to slot in behind, I think, because now once Geoff Perkins is passed, that Opel is going to struggle.
Further back at the field, let's go aboard Paul Fraser. So as you can see, about half a second, just over half a second down the road there from Russ. And then they are, a little bit further up the road there, about 4 seconds, about 5 seconds away that Ross is from the second Portuguese driver in the P3 place in the Hondas. But they're the battle for the Hondas. Hyundais, my apologies, for P2, P3, and P4.
Do you think that the Hyundais are really strong? Because it seems like there are 3 Hyundais in the top 4 and 1 Cupra in the hands of Lee Horn. It seems like it's the best overall general car, that Hyundai. No, Biggles? Don't you think so? It seems like we've lost Biggles at the moment, but yeah,
yep. All right,
we're
okay.
looking at the moment with Fraser Rostons.
Sorry, it just gets crazy loud sometimes when there's thunders and lightning and rain, so I have to mute it a little bit, and I forgot to unmute myself. Here's Alex, making a run on Alex Ward again.
The fight of the Alexes. 25 seconds is the gap now. Alex Everitt going to try and look at the inside of Alex Ward. And that is pass easily done with that Cupra. That Lincoln Co. looks really, really quick here, doesn't it, Biggles?
Absolutely does, but yeah, I don't think Alex is giving up for it at the moment. That's the other Alex, of course, Alex Ward. He wants it back. He says, I'm the Alpha Alex. You're the other Alex. And Alex says, well, do you have a trophy there of winning the C1 championship last season? I don't think so.
I don't think Alex is using that. Alex is way too humble for that, knowing Alex.
Yeah, no,
he won't go around and show his trophy. He will just say, okay, yeah, we'll just put it there and just celebrate it with his dad, probably.
He was carrying it in the back of the car there with the ballast last season.
Yeah.
So there's also another battle brewing there between, I think, Jorgen there for a second and Robert. I think somebody might have gone off. You can always see that little bit of dust that's kicked up in that corner.
I think it's just a really popular place to just dip 2 tires into the gravel there.
Mm-hmm.
And use everything on the track and a little bit more.
Now, here is my amigo, Gabriel Lopez. ¿Cómo estás? See, get back there in P16, so I'd have to say it's not a too bad job because he's got Ian down there. But, oh, it's up. It's Fraser and Ross. Now, Fraser's got past Ross there. Sorry, I missed the overtake. I think that Ross made a mistake, mate. Because Fraser was hunting him down about half a second, remember?
Yeah, that gap has opened up quite a lot now, but I think just in general, Fraser Rostons has been quicker over or since they made that.
But Russ must have went off track because he was just ahead there, and then all of a sudden there was like bang, there was a position exchanged and Christmas cards maybe coming a little early.
Maybe deep into Rivazza.
Yeah, it could have very well been. Unfortunately, we don't have any replay system for this to catch it. Even if I did set up a replay system, I still didn't catch it with the cameras, so I wouldn't even be able to show it. Well, it's Crest Autosport, of course. Welcome along to our World Touring Car Challenge. This is number 1 here in Imola. This is our first of our feature races. We will have sprint races and all the other jazz that we'll be, no doubt, talking about during the season. Yep.
Rounds 1, 4, and 6 will follow the one-time sprint race plus one-time feature race format, and rounds 2, 3, and 5 will follow the 3 times sprint format. So at Brands Hatch and TT Aston, we will follow the sprint format. And if I can take a look at round 5 at Suzuka, we will follow the sprint format. And then we will follow the feature format at Imola today, at Spa-Francorchamps, and at the Lausitz Ring, the Apex Tracks GP.
So now we're getting, thank you very much for that there, Dan. Now we're getting down to the business end of our first feature race. And, well, this is the new Britain town, hasn't it? Next Gen Racing here, qualified in P1 and has done everything he needed to do here for the green machine and has a 5-second gap to the Portuguese duo running in 2nd and 3rd. I remember last season it used to be the Ukrainian duo, didn't it? But the Ukrainians aren't racing with us, unfortunately, this season. And so now we were replaced by more Portuguese drivers, which are obviously stepping up into the big shoes that the Ukrainians did fill last season.
Well, let's just say, Biggles.
Oh, this leak goes a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, that's just a really popular car to just dip 2 tires into the grass. But yeah, we're down to the business end of this race now. 6 minutes and half a minute to go. 6.5 minutes to go here. Remo Schneider not too bad at all here in 6th. 90 minutes though behind the man who's, well, after that pit stop drama from Alex Everitt,
19 seconds, not minutes.
kind of dominated it.
Yeah. It's not a 24-hour Le Mans race, mate, or a 24-hour Nuremberg. It's 17 seconds. I thought you said 17 minutes. 19 minutes. You don't
even count 19 minutes there anymore, because that's a 24-hour sprint race. But yeah, Remo Schneider, 19 seconds behind Leo Horn, the man who's been dominating since that Alex Everitt pit stop drama.
Oh, the speed he's got now. He's catching drastically.
Ross Butcher, we're looking with him, but he's going to have to defend in a moment into the Variante Alta of this man. Can he try and make that overtake stick? Remo Schneider, not quite at the moment, but he gained about a second here only on this lap.
Yeah, this is Ross Butcher now dropping back a little bit. We saw something happen there where Fraser Roston's got past him, and now he's on a massive attack here from the Swiss driver, Remo Schneider, and he only needs to hold off here for another 5 minutes and secure that P5 position, but I'm not quite sure how long he can hold off the super Swissman.
Well, the longer you can keep him off, the more chance he's going to have of keeping ahead of him till the end of the race. Of course, he doesn't want to pick up any sort of off track or anything, because that could be, well, race ending for him, as we saw in race 1 for I think Pedro Santos. He at the moment though, great comeback. At some point he was in P6 up into the podium, and Fabio Gil as well. Those two Portuguese drivers, they have done the most they could here this evening, and they are now up to P2 and 3. Meanwhile, we're looking at this battle here between Remo Schneider and Ross Butcher. I think this one is going to carry on till the end.
You said the other battle was going to carry on to the end, but you were right. I think that was the Jeffrey and Alex Ward, wasn't it? But they've separated themselves. No, I think it was Paul Hans, isn't it? And Jeff Perkis. But they've now got a 3 to 4 second gap between them. Still time, of course, to try to do something about it. But these two are approaching a bit of traffic up the road as well. Not sure if that's actually lap traffic. I think that is lap traffic, because do you see who that is? Because
you know what it is, Biggles? As a commentator, you know what it is, Biggles? As a commentator, I just always want them to carry on with that battle until the end. That's why I'm always trying to...
Well, you got commentating blessings and commentating cursings. I think we've been pretty good today. I don't think we've used any of our curses up, and I think we're using up some of our blessings because they've been working as well, because we've been seeing much of the action that we wanted to see. Just Alex's double pit stop was an interesting one, isn't it? That's the one that's cost him the possibility of winning this race. We don't know. We haven't heard anything from
It might also just be a drive-through. Hang on with that, Biggles. It might also just be a drive-through.
I'm surprised he's the only one that got it. Now, I've seen a lot of invalidated laps from the drivers, and I'm not quite sure, maybe in the rule book there, if you know about it, how many of those you can afford before you start get showing the black and white flag and
It doesn't say.
get a penalty.
It's the game that decides that, I think, and it's about 3, as with all the other series. 3 off tracks, you get 3 warnings. If you go off track a 4th time, you will get punished. Down the inside, though. Oh, never mind. That
It's a lap
was
car.
on a lap car. I got excited there for a second, but Remo Schneider now still not past Ross Butcher, and that lap car not throwing any spanners in the work for Ross.
Now, because I saw it flashing their lights too, as you know, they do that in the endurance races for Le Mans and Nuremberg and all that sort of stuff that you mentioned there. They flash your lights out to say, get out of my way. Don't really have to. It's just a courtesy thing. Well, you do if you're a lap car, I believe, right now in this series. But
Use it as a sign of I'm coming through and I'm going to make this launch.
yeah,
But that's usually when you're in a slower classed car or a faster classed car.
exactly. Not sure that the blue flags rules apply here because this is our first feature race that we've had lap cars. Because our sprint races, we don't really have that problem. Don't really have a problem. But those mementos. Ian at the moment is putting a bit of pressure here on Gabriel Lopez. This is a big pressure. Fighting tooth and nail to the very end here at 15th and 16th places. But hey, I like to see the spirit here. They are not. Craig Deacon at the moment is the last place runner. Everybody else is DNF down from him.
Biggles, I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be close here for Lee Horn to try and get another lap in because he's just come across the line around 20 seconds ago. And there's only 1 minute 25 to go here. And the lap takes you around 1 minute 54 on a normal average lap. So now he has some time to drop back if he doesn't want to do an extra lap.
How does the car sound? Let's listen to it for a second. You know, as a race driver, is he lifting, coasting, or what is it? Sounds... I think he's still applying it. Because his last lap was a 53.4. His best lap was a 53.2. Ooh.
That was a little bit wide there through Aqua Minerali.
Yeah, I don't think you want to be able to make any mistakes right now after you've delivered the performances. Yeah, it sounds pretty comfortable on that, doesn't it? Like, and he can afford, It's got a 4-second gap down the road. But further back, this battle's still brewing, my friend. So hopefully maybe he'll give us one more lap to see that or not.
Well, I think we're going to have to go to the front of the field because it is going to be close here. Coming for the last time through Rivazza, I think, because look at the time. He's going to get there. I don't think he's going to get there. This is going to be the finish in the end. There we go. 0 seconds left on the clock. This is the finish for Lee Horn. He's going to come across the line to take victory in the first feature race here on Crest Autosport. And behind him, it's Fabio Gale in P2. Pedro Santos, though, now coming through to take P3. And Biggles, what a feature race that was.
This could be a little battle here brewing towards the very, very dying stages of there between 5 and 6 here. But I don't think Remo Schneider's going to get him on the line. No. Ross did hold off. I was going to say the Swiss Superman, really, at that point. I'm going to give him a nickname, Swiss Superman. I like that. He might like that too. He's flying, that's for sure. He can fly.
The Flying Swissman.
Yeah, Flying Swissman. No, we've got Flying Dutchman. So, no, it's got to be Superman, something like that. It's got to be. You can't have that. There's too many Dutch flyers. There's Alex Everitt, ends up finishing in that P7 position there, and ahead of the other Alex, of course, the battle of the Alexes. And that other battle you wanted to see between, obviously, Jeff Perkis and right there, P9 and Paul. So he does get the Opel, German driver, towards the end there. And Stevie gets
and P11.
Jorgen, of course. Those results will come up in a second anyway. And yeah, come on, Gabriel Lopez. He's still got that car home there. Or the Colombian driver there. And Craig Deacon still bringing it home. Finished in the final position. 17 drivers that finished this race. Here you go for those results.
Well, then the results are on your screen right now. And if we look at them, Lee Horn finishes in first position, Fabio Gill in second, third, Pedro Santos, Fraser Roston's P4, Ross Butcher P5, Remo Schneider P6, Alex Everett P7, Alex Ward P8, P9 for Jeff Perkins, Paul Hans with that Opel in P10, Stephen de Gravelaar in P11, Jurgen Masli Peterson in P12, Robert Stoughton in P13, Neil Craven P14, Ian Deeney P15, Gabriel Lopez P16, Craig Deakin in P17, Ricardo Pessoa Santos in P18, 19 for Carl Smith, Rodrigo Portugal in P20, and Nigel Stock in P21. Fastest lap there, though, for Fabio Gill that lap.
Brilliant. That was our first race, isn't it? First feature race of the season.
Yeah. What do you think of it?
Great. It's enduring, but it was great. There it is right there, your results again. This time I had it resized correctly.
Amazing. Amazing. Biggles, you're learning.
Yeah.
Well then, as we look at the results again, like I said, Fabio Gill with that fastest lap in the end, 4.2 seconds behind Horn in the end. How close do you want it at the end of a feature race? Only 4.2 in it, over 50 minutes. That's not too big of a gap, is it?
No, not at all. Not considering you had those pit stops, remember? And we still would like to actually ask, if we can for some interviews there, what happened with Alex of his second pit stop that we did not aware of.
Here we go. We have someone with us at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's the man who won in race 1. And, well, we all saw it. He went off track in race 1, and in race 2, he performed a very dominant drive.
Mr. Lee Horn.
Hi guys. Yeah, that was an up and down night for me. Blimey. After putting it on pole, and I haven't been on race room for months because I've been playing iRacing, racing with the next gen league in the NXTCC. So I really didn't know what was going to happen, and I was shocked to get a pole. Very pleased, and then threw it all away on cold tires on lap 1 of race 1. You guys must have chuckled a little bit because I did.
Well, there was 10,000 other cars to keep action of. We're kind of more. I was more gutted than anything because, Alex ran away with the championship last season, and that looked like you're now the new Brit in town to challenge him. And today was an example of that.
Yeah, definitely. Al and I go back a long way. We're arch rivals, very good friends. We've assisted each other in running leagues in the past. So I've sort of very much looked forward to coming back, but didn't know how I was sort of going to settle back in. And apart from that mistake, which obviously ruined the result for race 1, really pleased. Unfortunately, Alex made a little mistake after he got out in front there. He just went into pit lane too fast and got a drive through because of speed in the pit lane. Or else I think we'd have had a bit of a showdown finish, because I was planning on trying to claw him back in that couple of seconds for the second half of the race and having a good old battle with him. But as it was, I kept my head about me and I took the win, which I'm really pleased with.
And there you go, Dan. That's the question that was being answered for us, because we were wondering why Alex had to go back through the pit lane again. And so that's what it was it? A little bit naughty there, speeding into the pit lane.
He I just asked him just now, because we sit in the same comms room together during the race anyway. And he literally just admitted that he hadn't practiced pit entry. Because I said to him, I got it wrong 3 times in practice, and then so I made sure I wasn't going to get it wrong in the race, and sadly Alex didn't practice that. So I'm sure you'll find that he will not be doing that again for the rest of the season, because Alex does like to beat himself up with silly mistakes like that. So I'm sure he'll be tip top and ready to go for the rest of the season without any.
What is the speed lane pit speed?
I think it's 60 kilometers per hour. But
right.
For us as drivers, we just I certainly don't. I don't think you can have the automatic limiter on. So you've got to hit your limiter in time while braking before the line, obviously, like standard rules for speeding. So if you've practiced it a couple of times, you sort of know where you've got to start braking from flying into the pits.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So,
hitting
Alex-
your pit box also is a crucial thing. This is for the first time we're seeing this season. Of course, last season we didn't have those pit stops. We did see a couple of drivers make mistakes in the pits, and they had to back up their pit box and stuff like that. How did you go overall with that? Did you hit the marker perfectly for the team to change the boots?
Yeah, I did do a quick practice during the warm up, and I missed the box, so I sort of just brought myself back a little bit more to start the braking process. So yeah, it's very easy to overshoot it, even though there's a massive, great big red sign saying stop. It's still easy to miss it if you're all excited and going in it with the adrenaline pumping. So yeah, you've got to be careful with that as well.
Yeah, we don't see that big red thing that says stop, obviously, as the broadcast spectator mode, because we don't even know what pit stop you're going into, because there's nothing of indicating on a spectator. So we just sit there just going, okay, which one's he going to stop at? Where are they going to stop? Was it going to be this at the start, pit lane entry or pit lane exit? But you guys obviously are well aware of that, and that's why it's interesting to see whether or not it is and how much of a difference that you are if you're a few meters over to even what about the angle as well to the car? Does that even make a difference?
I think you can be at a slight angle, but if you overshoot, it tells you by how much. So like 1.5 meter or whatever it happens to be. I'm not 100% on the angle, but I'm sure I've not been 100% straight. But as long as you're in line, you get away with it. I think if you're excessively angled, you probably would get in trouble. But I've never tried it, to be honest.
Fair enough. Oh, well, you will have to try it a few times this season.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, but so, yep, finally, somebody else that's going to be able to give it to Alex, I think, this season. And you are going into the next race, and we'll just pull up that schedule right now so everybody can look at it there, which will be Brands Hatch, my friend. So back home.
Yeah, like a bit of Brands. Is it the GP layout or the Indy?
Dan does all that research for me. Hopefully Dan can tell me that.
As far as I know, it's the GP layout.
Excellent. No, that's good. No, I look forward to it. I mean, to be honest, the track list for this series looks quite good. I haven't got. Is it Nagaro? I need to purchase that one, but I've got the rest of the tracks. So yeah, looking forward to hopefully a very competitive season with Alex and some of the other guys as well. Some of my teammates, they're honing their skills and getting quicker and quicker, and I'm hoping they'll join me up the front at some point shortly as well. So.
Well, after that, you have the Dutch of Titi Aston. I think that's what it is there. Dan, you are Dutch. You would know that track. Round 3. Dan is muted at the moment. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Yeah. Is that's the Dutch track? I'm not sure, but of course, you got Spa, you got Suzuka, and then Germany again there for the Lutchesen Ring. I can't pronounce that one properly. Yeah. Yeah.
Ring. Yes, that's a great track actually. It'd be a really good one to have a final with. Raced on that a few times in the touring cars, and it's a really joint car competitive type track. So yeah, like I say, look forward to all the tracks coming up this season, and the season finale should be brilliant.
I'm gonna test your knowledge here, Lee. Do you know what the last race at the Lutchesen Ring is called?
The final.
No, the Apex Tracks Grand Prix.
Yes, because one of our sponsors at the Apex.
Well, I failed on that, my general knowledge of that one, but yes, the Apex Tracks Grand Prix is a very aptly named final name for the final round. I am a proud owner actually of one of the Apex Tracks for
you as
winning. Well? Yes, I won the Crest Autosport, sponsored by Apex Racing back. Just trying to think now.
Which one did you get? Because that's one for the chat.
The track wise, I had the Nordschleife without the GP.
There you go,
was
Dan.
The one that was on offer.
Dan has that. Sorry, Dan.
I have it with the GP, Lee.
Yeah. Okay.
It's without the GP. It was. I didn't have choice on that particular one. That was the one that was offered from the start of the season, which I was very pleased with. And actually goes alongside my other tracks that I have, a couple from another company, but obviously I've got a couple from Apex Tracks, along with the plaque of first place. I was driving in Sabine Schmitz's Chevrolet Cruze for that particular season, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that one, and was very happy to take the championship that time.
Excellent. No, that's good. I need to get one, actually. I was talking to Dan about that before. Dan's like, just get a ball. I'm like, all right. I'm going to build a couple more walls then to put them up. And Stephen DeGravia had Stevie as well, that you can see that Stevie finished in P11 there. He said that the next track is Negreo circuit.
Good. Okay, well, that's the one I've got to purchase. So in which case, I'll be off in a minute to get some VRPs, get the track, and probably run a few laps before I go to bed. Just
I was going to
calm
say,
down.
man, haven't you done enough tonight, man? 50 grueling minutes, but not to mention, obviously, the qualifying session and then the first race.
Well, to be honest, if I'm going to keep up with Alex, I need to put the practice in. So, and bear in mind, I haven't turned any laps around this track. It probably won't hurt for me to go and do 10 or 20 laps before I shoot off to bed.
All right. And when you'll be in bed, you'll be probably dreaming of going left, right, brake, accelerate. That's what happens when you drive. It's been fantastic, and congratulations there, Lee. Somebody else to speak to who's winning races. That's great. And hey, once again, the Portugal duo behind you did a fantastic job. They also stole the fastest lap from you, so you didn't get the full trifecta on that one. The qualifying fastest lap and the race win, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. And by the way, Lee, well, we have to do a driver of the day, of course, sponsored by Apex's driver of the day. So, Dan, do you have one?
Fraser Rostons, I think, was one of the consistent performers this evening, and finishing, I think, 2 times in the top 5. I think that's driver of the day worthy.
All right, I'll give you that one as well. There, what do you think there, Lee? You can influence this one, mate. You won, so.
Well, it's a very well-deserved accolade for Fraser this week. He's also my teammate. We're a pair for this series. You'll share our setups and things. So I'd probably agree with that one. He's had a couple of consistent finishes and showed a really good start to the season. So hopefully he can build on that, and me and him can take it to Alex and anyone else that's at the sharp end with us.
Excellent. There you go, Fraser. Congratulations. You are our Apex Crest Autosports driver of the day. And more driving, of course, to come next week. So we'll let you go get some practice in now, mate. Purchase that track, of course, and get a couple of laps in and continue to do what you're doing best at the moment, which is winning.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, much appreciated. Thanks for doing the stream and the commentary. Cheers.
Thank you.
No problem. So I think we're going to wrap it up because it's been quite an event here this evening for the first one of, as we said, in Imola, and then we'll be going to Nagaro circuit. Where is Nagaro, by the way, to there, Dan?
Nagaro, where that is? You're asking me that? I can look it up for you. Nagaro is in France.
In France, okay. So we'll get the new calendar updated. It probably has been updated. I probably just used the wrong one. My apologies. But, that's our dress rehearsal over. The main show, of course, will be next week again. So, once again, Dan, you go through our fantastic sponsors that put this on here for Crest Autosports, and then you can get to bed.
Can I?
Yeah.
Finally get to bed. Oh, my God. I've been wanting this. No, of course not. I would have loved to do another 2 or 3 hours of commentary, of course, on the Crest Autosport. But yeah, our main sponsor is Apex Tracks, where you can get, like Lee said as well, your own sculpture to hang on the wall or to just place somewhere in wherever you want it. Basically, you can put it wherever you want it. From Formula 1 tracks to just every track, prototype technologies.
Do they have Bathurst? I think they do, right?
I think they do.
I would like Bathurst. Yeah, okay.
That's a great track.
Yeah. Anyway.
And of course, our other partners are 603 Autosports, 3D Wrap, Track Racer, Digital Spirit or Digital Motorsport, Esports Sim, and the GP Box. Well, Biggles, I'm going to say my last 3 words, and why don't you wrap it up afterwards? I would say, a great first evening.
There you go. That was 3 words, exactly. Great first evening. Well, great World Touring Car Championship racing here at Crest Autosports. Thank you very much. It's been fantastic. Tune in next week for more and of great racing. November time. And look at that, 3rd of November. We'll be back. Good night.